are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about.
The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday. And once again, 1 week later, the Barnes and Tony Show. How you doing, my friend?
Dude, great, man. I'm having a great time here, back in studio. Obviously, a great Christmas break with the fam. Got so many good things, dude. Santa was great this year. My dad kept saying what a great year it's been, you know, as we were opening our gifts Christmas morning. So it was a good time, good food. Unbelievable food, Brian.
Let's have some type of rundown here.
I mean, like, you're talking night one, I get home.
Chinese?
Chinese food, you know, classic.
8 hours on the way home or no?
No. I actually, dude, I'm trying to remember now.
Monday night.
So Monday, it wasn't even Monday night, dude. I left here Monday at like literally 3:30.
Oh, okay. So you did the afternoon. Gotcha.
And I think I got I want to say I just got lucky. Maybe people took off Monday because Christmas Eve starts Tuesday, kind of whatever, you know, take the Monday off. Because like I said, 3:30, you know, you think, you know, prime time, rush hour, day before the holiday. Oh my gosh. But I'm home in probably closer to 3 hours.
Okay.
Which again, for holiday traffic is not that bad. Thanksgiving was well over 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get home, you know, tired. My mother worked all day. Make it easy. Order Chinese food. Bang. Next day, Christmas Eve.
Whoa. We're skipping off like what we had. Like we're just.
Sorry. I think you wanted the rundown. I'm sorry. I don't know your fine
is
details.
that not part
dude.
of the?
So you're talking
rundown?
Chinese food, egg drop wonton soup. We're in the soup mood.
Now a little any spice with that, or kind of just mild in terms of, because sometimes, right, aren't they a little spicy, or would it be technically called spicy?
I think technically it would be spicy. Yeah, this
Okay.
is really not that spicy. Just you know, typical wonton egg drop mix.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know, spare ribs, bone in, dude. Okay. Then we have, you know, pork fried dumplings, General Tso's. My dad likes mango chicken, so we got that. My mother likes lo mein, so we shared that. And then that was basically it for Chinese. Next day, morning, I mean, obviously, like eggs, sandwich, the bagels, dude. Christmas Eve, you're working, dude. Make the cheesecake in the morning. Prepare the twice-baked potatoes sort of deal. We'll get to that, whatever, though. Dinner, La Fontana, Italian, classic chicken parm. Not with pasta though. Broccoli and potato croquettes.
Always
good,
thought
dude.
that was like, that stuff is good on the side, but I never understood it though, because occasionally you'll see a restaurant. Oh, it comes with mixed vegetables. Like, it just, to me, it just seems like, why wouldn't it just come with pasta?
No, it is kind of weird, but La Fontana, Christmas Eve is the prefixed menu.
Gotcha.
So you get a pasta course.
Gotcha.
Which is why they do. So, you know, you get the salad, you know, you get the penne vodka, and then you get your actual entree. Appetizer, I had mozzarella and carottes, which is basically, you know, mozzarella stick, basically, but try it or whatever. Delicious. I forget what we had for dessert there, to be honest. I think my mother had a tartufo. Doesn't matter. It wasn't even. I don't even think it was that great. It was, you know, middling, whatever, dude. Maybe vanilla ice cream. I think I just had a bowl of vanilla ice cream, maybe, for dessert there, which is fine. Keep it simple, or just, you know, vanilla ice cream.
No, but you're saying middling there. Like, was it not a good meal? Like,
no. The meal is great,
dude.
Tartufo. Well, I don't know. I mean, their desserts there are never really that great, in my opinion.
Really? Okay.
I mean, their cheesecake is good. I guess sometimes they have like an Oreo cheesecake, which is really good. But obviously, in terms of cheesecakes, my mother's over everything, so that doesn't really make a difference. And then again, like tartufo, I'm not really into. Tiramisu.
Wait, tartufo is what? Ice cream and chocolate?
Yeah, it's like that. You probably see it's like the hard chocolate shell, and then inside is like normally it's like the Neapolitan ice cream, right? With the green and the pink.
Creamy,
I just don't like that in general, dude. I just don't really. I don't know. That's why I just go bowl of vanilla ice cream typically.
Yeah, no, it is good. Or the Carvel with the caramel. The caramel is really addicting. Though, I swear to God.
It's ridiculous.
With vanilla ice cream, how could you not just keep
literally
funneling
keep
it.
doing that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. And then Christmas Day, dude, menu, eggs Benedict in the morning. That was ridiculous.
Eggs
dude.
Benedict is one of my personal
Oh,
favorites, and
my
especially
God,
homemade. I
dude.
can only imagine.
And then my dad got like the extra large English muffins.
Oh, wow.
So, oh my God, dude, it was so good. And then dinner was the holiday ham with the twice baked potatoes, Brussels sprouts. That was amazing, dude. The baked ham, the maple, brown sugar. Oh my God, dude. So that was great. And then obviously cookies and the cheesecake for dessert. And we had Monagot as like an appetizer earlier on too, with some meatballs, which was just unbelievable, dude. So good.
So it was kind of like oh my.
It was like literally, oh my God, dude. And then what now? I forget what we did I think Thursday we did leftovers. And then Friday night, you would love this, dude. I guess Friday we go to this new place on Staten Island called La Campagna.
Okay.
There was one in the city. There's opened up. I think they have 2 locations, honestly, on Staten Island now. But it was like it's like in this weird spot too. It's always just been like a lot of quick turnovers for the restaurants there. It's like every
No stay
year,
power.
no stay power, dude. So I'm like, my parents went there. They're like, we gotta go. You'll like it. And I'm like, obviously, I'm just like, not expecting a lot. Vibe was great. Drinks were awesome. And dude, my dinner, not even like we got appetizers, we got pizza, of course, too. But the dinner, dude, we got a special chicken, calabrese.
Okay.
And it was literally chicken parm, okay, over a bed of rigatoni, but it was with the spicy vodka sauce with celebrini peppers on it.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable,
And like the crispness,
dude. The
of
crispness.
the cutlet, thinner cutlet.
It was pounded, so dude, it was like this thin and the size of my head. You know?
Okay,
Oh
gotcha.
my God, dude! And the rigatoni was so good.
Boy, that sounds amazing.
Oh my God, affogato we had for dessert. That was awesome.
They have a good avocado.
Oh yeah, tremendous. And then
Okay.
appetizers, rice balls were phenomenal, dude. And then we had pizza. We had like a pie for
So
appetizer
basically, you
too.
had dinner before the
Before
dinner
the
came
dinner,
out.
dude. Classic like pizza and then the pasta dish combo, dude.
No, I think we all do it, but it's like every time, like you get a bunch of appetizers, a bunch of people. It's like by the time the dinner comes out, you don't even need it, but like it's
Don't
like, so
even need it,
good,
dude.
you just house it anyway.
Exactly. No, I think I had half of it, but threw in the towel. Had half yesterday, 2 days ago when I got back here
Okay.
Saturday. The leftovers again, dude. Really, just like the food was just all time just high, dude. Ridiculous.
That's too high.
It literally was. It was almost too much, dude.
Wow.
Like I wake up this morning and I'm like craving like an egg sandwich and like I want like chicken parm for dinner.
Yeah.
Like I'm in that mode still.
Yeah. No, it's tough to break out of that.
Yeah,
honestly.
dude. Yesterday, Mike and I did leftovers too, so
Saw
we were
that.
just going,
Tony's kitchen.
dude, and going
Yeah.
and going.
Oh, and then the PS5?
Oh, dude, the PS5. Yes, the actual Christmas morning, the gifts.
Yeah.
Like I said, Santa was tremendous to me. Surprised with the PlayStation 5, dude, which is like crazy. I really didn't expect that. So I'm pumped for that. Obviously, you'll be seeing that system in the gaming corner soon. Do have to kind of update the gaming library, but nonetheless, dude, I'm
Because
stoked.
Michael was saying right now, I don't know if it came with it, but you just have GTA 5.
Yeah, GTA 5.
And he said he's not playing. He said no, I'm not. I don't play GTA.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
He didn't tell me that,
Yeah,
actually.
he's like, yeah, Tony's so annoying. Like, why would he get that game?
Really?
He didn't say that Tony's so
You're
annoying,
annoying,
but
but
he
he
did
probably
say
thought it
he's
did.
not GTA, which I've actually never been GTA either.
I grew up doing the GTA for sure. It's actually funny because he played a little bit yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. I think
But
he
it was like,
having a good time,
but
dude.
I'm sure he was like, it's all right.
Yeah, he wasn't like he wasn't like playing the story mode. He was just like kind of like messing around, you know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
classic
exactly.
mess around.
Now, did that come with it? Is that how? Or
No, I think it was for PlayStation like Plus people who were able to get it. for whatever.
like one of those like free games you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Which is crazy because GTA 5 doesn't normally like I feel like that game, but then again, the game's been out for like 15 years. So, but yeah, it's stoked, and then I downloaded some older games as well.
Because what is it? The older games like they just give you for free?
So I have like games downloaded on my PlayStation 4, which so I can go into my account like Gran Turismo 7. I can download NHL,
But it's-
Madden.
But it's gonna be like the 4 version playing on the 5. Is that?
Some of them are, but like some of the newer ones are like, oh, there's a PS5, like a Gran Turismo 7, for example, is on both systems. So I downloaded the PS5 version of it.
But they give you it for free if you have the PS4 version.
Correct. If I
Really?
bought it on the PlayStation Store, I can still download it.
So,
Yeah.
So if I were to get PlayStation 5, I
Yeah.
would get all my games upgraded that I have.
Like if you have the downloaded
Yeah, the
games.
downloaded games.
Yes. Like you have the new.
really?
Yeah, I don't know
thought
what
I
you
had
have.
all like restart? No, because I just got 2K.
Right. Yeah, so that should translate.
Wow.
For sure,
That's
dude.
actually kind of sick.
I know. Well, I mean, also not for nothing. Like, imagine, like, you have to buy that again. Like, that'd be fucking crazy.
Well, but does it not
yeah.
go with the theme?
Yes,
Tony?
dude. The money, dude.
Yes.
So tremendous Christmas. Shout out to my parents. They did a great job in organizing
As
it.
always.
As always. Parents just know, dude. You know, like, they just know what to get you, dude. The jerseys, too. A couple of jerseys. That was sick, dude. The Corn Huskers jerseys, dude. No, I got, obviously the Lindor jersey, your favorite guy, and then an Igor jersey, which is bittersweet, I guess you could say, but still sick jersey.
All
dude.
I'm gonna say is, like, we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I just do not want to hear you predicting a victory over the Panthers.
It's gonna be pretty tough, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna.
You can make a case for it, though.
You can't. It's over. And it's just like, just get Peralta up. Like
do something, dude.
Yeah, but again, we'll talk about it. But speaking of Kern, just wanted to mention the bowl game at Yankee Stadium on Saturday was unbelievable. Being Matt, great seats. Shout out Corey, hooking it up as always. Yeah. But it was like it was nice too because like Nebraska kind of was in control of the game, but then BC made a late push, and it was crazy too. We even saw BC they only had 2 points for most of the game because they blocked the extra point and returned it for a touchdown. So it was pretty cool to see that, right in front of you. But yeah, we're right down to the wire. So it was exciting. A lot of Nebraska fans there, which is interesting.
Hell yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but I think it's because they hadn't been to a bowl game in like 8 years. And the weather held out, which is nice.
And I'm sure the Nebraska people would, spending Christmas in New York, dude.
It's an attractive thing.
I mean, they have no idea what it's like here, man.
Exactly. So yeah, I have to say the 2 bowl games I've went to at Yankee Stadium, it's awesome. Just something different. And Matt was even saying too, he thinks he hadn't been to a live football game in since 2009 or something.
Oh, wow.
So and I was saying too, I've been to some games, but not that many. So it's just nice to, do something different. And it was nice that it was a close game. And it was kind of cool too, that it's like 2 former NFL coaches roaming the sidelines, and Bill O'Brien and Matt Rule for Nebraska. Anything from Uncle Richie on the win?
No, I haven't heard from him.
I mean,
I'm surprised he wouldn't have gone to that game, to be honest. Because obviously he's a huge Yankee fan. Cornhuskers, but, I don't know.
But yeah, they were kind of pumped up for sure.
Yeah, big deal.
So that was awesome. And then we went to Enzo's after, a place that you're familiar with
now.
Oh
yeah, dude.
And yeah, that was awesome. We split the calamari, the salad. I'm trying to think of which salad it was. I think it was like a
house salad.
It was like a house salad. Yeah, it was a house salad.
Oil and vinegar. Oh,
and then the rollatini, couple things of bread, the house Cabernet, and
Italian
then
bread, dude.
Matt got the linguine and clams,
classic,
and I got the cavatelli with vodka sauce and sausage, which was unreal. And then we both finished it off with a cappuccino and a Italian slice of cheesecake. Which was really
nice,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds so good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Dude, the eggplant rollatini, so good, dude.
It is. It really is. And it's funny. When I was younger, I used to not like it.
Same. I thought eggplant was gross, dude.
Yeah. Especially when you mix it together, it really is so good.
Yeah, really. It's crazy how your taste buds change.
Yeah.
From being a kid.
Yeah. No, exactly. So it was that was awesome. So that's really what we have for synopsis.
How was the Yankee Stadium, dude? Concessions open? You got any food there?
Concessions open, no food because we're just like, we're gonna go to Arthur, so just got a couple beers,
No, that's not bad.
But yeah, it was second level too, which was actually kind of perfect with the football. And the way they actually had it set up is home plate, dead center is the football field.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah. So
did you wear a Yankee jersey?
No, I had my Rangers hat on just because
nice.
Colder, so that worked out good temperature wise. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. I think they announced attendance anyway was like 30K.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
good for them.
So yeah, it was fun overall for sure. Looks like though, before we get started, a couple comments here. Josh B.
Yeah,
we were mentioning too, by the way. Great Discord yesterday during the NFL games.
Nice.
So shout out to Josh B. For putting that one together.
I'll have to see that at Josh B here. Top of the day, family, he says. Let's have an awesome New Year's week. Hashtag TC, hashtag sports, hashtag DTV as well. And he says, welcome back, Tony. Thank you, Josh. Happy to be here. And my mother says mozzarella and carote says like a mozzarella sandwich fried. Dude, it's so good when they do it right.
Doing it right.
And then my mother says, what about the mega breakfast sandwich, potatoes too? Yeah, my dad and I, obviously, in the morning, getting kind of creative. The leftover ham, leftover baked potato, make hash browns
but
on the
sour
sandwich,
cream baked
dude.
inside. Interesting.
Oh, well, that's the twice baked potato. Yeah,
The
dude.
twice. And
Yeah.
that's always been like that. Or no?
As far as I know, yeah, they put, yeah. isn't that
Okay, no,
typical?
I just
Yeah.
hadn't heard of that because I always thought it was just like the butter, cheese, and like bacon and chives, maybe, like
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want, really, but I think it is like common practice to do sour cream.
Yeah, and I guess also though I don't do that many in
Yeah.
general anyway. So
But those are so good. They came out really good, dude. And the twice baked are great. But yeah, usually the leftovers, the egg sandwich with the bagel. It's like, it really is just ridiculous, dude. I mean, a lot of over easy eggs with the yolk. Just my god,
come on.
dude.
And then Josh B also saying it was a great time on Cord.
There we go.
Watching the games, talking the games, and I think that's a good segue, Tony. Let's go to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted, picked off at a pick six. Mako Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again.
Mahomes escaping, on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones, oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right. So, rewinding the clock back a little bit, this week has been so, like, I feel like I don't remember an NFL season, not an NFL season, but an NFL week that was so spread out the way this one was, with the 2 games on Wednesday, 1 game on Thursday, and then 3 on Saturday. So going back to Saturday, not much time is needed to discuss the Chargers and Patriots game, but the Chargers clinching a win, clinching a playoff spot. So Jim Harbaugh doing what he does, turning teams around in his first year. So they're pretty much deadlocked into that 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
So they will most likely play the Baltimore Ravens unless the Ravens lose, Steelers win next week, then they would flip-flop. But right now, they would be at the Ravens, which is obviously a tough way to start the postseason. And we would get Harbaugh Bowl round 2 already this season. So that would be kind of interesting.
That would be interesting, dude.
But I mean, I know, we've mentioned his name a lot, but I think, this win and clinching this playoff spot really solidifies, the impact that Harbaugh had on this team this year, turning them around from, I believe, 7-10 last year or 6-11 to where they are now, squarely in the playoffs, a 10-win team, and can really bench their starters this coming week now that they're kind of locked into that 6th seed.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about Harbaugh. I mean, he's a great coach, no doubt. And I mean, you want to talk about, having a guy like him who does, he knows what it means and what it takes to be, a good organization, a good franchise, and setting up a proper culture. I mean, that's, I feel like, really what he did for the Chargers, kind of, almost wrangling this group of talent. Obviously, we know about Justin Herbert, but obviously defensive minded, killed it there, 3 sacks. Secondary looked really good as well. I know it's against the Patriots, but again, that's just like the start of what he does with the team. He comes in, he instills a great defense, he instills that culture, hard hitting, don't ever give up, keep going, and a quarterback like Herbert who can take that and run with it. It does. I mean, you see the Chargers willing their way to victories here. Obviously, this being decisive. On the other hand, though, Brian, I will say I feel like that their wins are against lesser teams. And not for nothing.
So you're downplaying them.
I would downplay the Chargers a little bit. I think they'd be the team to lose, honestly, in the playoffs. And I still, like Herbert, great. Offensive line did a great job in giving him so much time, not sacked at all. Didn't have a ton of pressure in his face, which is awesome. I mean, that's what happens. It's crazy. You watch this game, and I'm thinking, wow, it's wild, just to think what a quarterback could do when he has, time in the pocket. But regardless, Yeah, I think that, the wide receiving core, the McConkey is good. Palmer, yes. You say what you will about Johnson. He contributed to the game here, but
Ability is there.
the ability is there, but I just feel like sometimes they have miscues on offense that in a playoff game when it's down to the wire, like that's probably what's going to cost them.
Oh yeah, and I think I'm just more looking at it, from where they came from and how they just under Brandon Staley, you felt like that you never got the best out of this roster, and now with Jim Harbaugh, you feel like you do, and of course there'll be some offseason tweaks to this team, but it just seems like they're headed in the right direction. And I think too, coming into this year, I mean, everyone believed in the ability, but I think there were some question marks just in terms of like how good Justin Herbert is. Is he almost overrated in a sense? And, here we are. And I mean, he's playing the best football of his career pretty much. I mean, 21 touchdowns, 3 picks, and 3,500 yards, and just making the smart plays. That's what Harbaugh's job was here, to really, mold him into the best quarterback that he could be.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, dude. I mean, I like Justin Herbert a lot. I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that I don't know. For me, just growing up my entire life, I feel like the Chargers were always that team that were great, but never won anything. You grew up watching Phillip Rivers have great regular seasons. Franchise quarterback, obviously. The big names they've had in and out on their roster. But I just feel like for maybe just because of that, they just always come up short for me. So that's what I always think about.
I have to say, though, and I want to get the year right on this. But had I know that sounded kind of funny actually, but had Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson that year, AFC Championship game, secret surgery, all that, and they not get injured, I'm telling you, that team was fucking loaded. They could have won it all, honestly.
No, yeah.
I know if, but
exactly. I mean, listen, yeah. I mean, I totally agree. That team was fun to watch. The San Diego Chargers were a team that you were always
07
to
the Patriots.
You were always like they were such a competitive team in what was a very extremely crowded league. With obviously Rodgers, Prime, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Obviously, you want to throw in the Giants in those years when they were successful, like. It was crazy, dude. So, they were always really good. But again, it's just because they just came up short every single time, because if it was an injury or just because they were, playing a powerhouse like the Patriots or whoever. But it was cool. They were a cool team to root for, dude. I mean, their logo, color scheme, San Diego Chargers.
I mean, Gates, are you kidding?
Crazy, dude.
How good Gates was.
Crazy.
And LT.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, LT was an unbelievable
The
running
blackout
back.
visor, dude. So sick.
John Madden sang LaDainian Tomlinson. Can't beat it. Honestly, can't beat it. So, with the 40-7 win, Chargers improved to 10-6. Patriots fall to 3-13. Dobbins' first game back off of IR, 276 yards and a touchdown. So they want to, upset somebody wild card weekend. They're going to need him going because the running game had struggled in recent weeks. And McConkey, the rookie wide receiver from Georgia, had a nice game, 8 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. He's really taken over, that number one receiving role this year. And actually that got him over 1,000 yards for the season, 77 catches, 1054, 7 touchdowns. So he has paid huge
dividends.
There we go, Tony. So, like I said, I would expect them this coming week to rest and get ready for Wild Card Weekend, which will be 2 weeks from this past weekend. So fortunately, triple header Saturday. Obviously, that game was pretty much a dud, but the final 2 games of the night were exciting. We saw the Bengals in overtime, 30-24 over the Broncos. And this was nuts. And this came up actually in the Falcons game last night too. But I feel like, sometimes it feels like, okay, this point is hammered home and it's like, okay, we get it. But I've never seen between this game and that game such bad clock management out of the coach. And I don't know, were you watching this game or no?
I watched the end of it. Yeah, I caught
Did you see, though, the Bengals last drive? Broncos only had 1 timeout. They could have just taken a knee and literally got the clock down to maybe 20 seconds, and they decided to punch it in on 1st and goal, give them a minute 20. They drive down the field, score, send it to overtime. It's like that was such an easy thing to do, and they just didn't do it. I just didn't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if they just thought maybe their defense, it would be just don't even fucking worry about it. I don't know. Very odd.
But you know what I mean? This isn't a Madden game where you don't feel like kneeing it out. Like, this is the NFL. And,
Right.
like, your season's
these
over
wins.
if you lose this game.
Yeah.
So, like, why would you even consider anything else?
So weird. So
Yeah.
weird, dude. Like, that's almost fireable.
Yeah.
I feel like if you, oh my God.
If they
dude.
had if they had ended up losing that game, I mean, it might have ended up being so.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, they're going to need help this week. You know, 2 teams need to lose and they need to win. But now Burrow, after this game where he threw for over 400 yards,
Ridiculous.
46-41, 42 touchdowns, 8 picks, 76.7 QBR. I don't think people realize how good that is.
No.
And then, of course, what a season Chase has had. Higgins start in this one, though, 11 for 131, 3 touchdowns. But do you think that because of how great this season has been, that maybe the narrative needs to switch here? Oh, I know the Bengals were disappointing this year, but I kind of think after this performance and just looking at the numbers in a whole, I mean, he really deserves to be the MVP. I mean, the numbers are so ridiculous and so far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess so. Well, I mean, he says, it seems you're third in terms of QBR. I wonder who's top in the league in terms of QBR. Like who's 1 and 2. But I don't know. I mean, to say he's MVP is kind of tough, dude. I mean, not for nothing. Like the Bengals, I don't know. It's tough. That whole MVP conversation is always interesting because it's like it's not about just you're the best player. It's the value, whatever, dude. Which obviously you could argue that he is certainly the most valuable player on that team. Like no doubt about that. I don't think. But in the entire league, like I don't know. I feel like I would lean towards like a Lamar or a Josh Allen over him.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, you know what it is? He's just basically pure passing. They've done it with their legs too, and obviously they've had a lot more wins. By the way, Lamar is 77.9, Allen 76.8, Burrow is 76.7. So right up there with the other guys. And Jaden Daniels 4th. That's impressive for a rookie, 72.3.
Yeah.
But I don't know. To me, he's just been the best player. And like, you know, they've rallied. They were 4-8, 4 wins in a row. Still a chance to make the playoffs. That's just my opinion there. Tough one for the Broncos. Obviously, you know, they make that comeback to force OT, but come up short.
The field goal.
And now we'll need to beat the Chiefs. They're going to have Carson Wentz starting at quarterback since the Chiefs are locked into that number 1 seed. So you would think they win that game, but again, crazier things have happened. You don't know. But for now, the Bengals live to see another day at 8-8. The Rams, virtue of last night's result on Sunday Night Football and their win over the Cardinals on Saturday night, clinched the NFC West, a 13-9 victory here. So in a game where
9,
you really felt like there was going to be more scoring, and I really thought the Rams would blow it away. I had laid the 6 on them. Stafford, I believe it was 4th straight game. It's either 3rd or 4th. Actually, I want to look this up, where they win, but he's under 200-yard passing. He only had 189. And that had never happened in his career where like he had won multiple games being under 200 yards. So
Third.
It was the third, and that had never happened. You know, the defense has stepped up. You know, some of those younger defensive players. Now that the Rams, you know, have been using their draft picks under Les Snead after trading them away, you know, for so many years. And you know, like I said, I was just surprised that you know they didn't put up more points here.
Yeah,
and like they had problems in coverage against the Cardinals. It seemed like, you know, McBride, 12 for 123, first touchdown of the season. I was saying this to Josh B too yesterday on Discord. I feel like if he doesn't have a touchdown next week, he would be the first player to have over 1,000 yards receiving and only have 1 touchdown. I don't know if we've ever seen that.
I can't think of anyone, right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So that was surprising. James Conner left this game with an injury. Obviously, Cardinals already eliminated from playoff contention here.
Cardinals suck, dude.
Murray
sucks in the end zone, dude.
No, we were cracking up too, me and Matt. Rich, did you hear this game a little bit or no?
Yeah.
The way Rich Eisen says, it's Murray and Murray back to throw.
Not good, dude.
But like, it's interesting. I mean, you think it's like, if you're the Cardinals, like, I mean, you have Harrison, you have McBride, Connor's pretty good. Even Michael Carter actually looked pretty good. Jay must have been cheesing somewhere.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But I mean, is it as simple as just trading Murray?
I think so, dude. I think you have to shop for a new quarterback. I mean, there was such a negative connotation with him coming in the league, dude.
Who do we got? Bernie?
No, dude. This is my Uncle Richie, actually.
The Cornhuskers.
Cornhuskers. Hold on, stand by, Uncle Richie. Let me just push you through. Good morning, Uncle Richie. You're live on the Sports Port. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Richie. Go Huskers, huh?
Go Huskers. Yeah, you can't believe Pinstripe Bowl. In my territory, they won, too.
Yeah.
I was there. It was a fun time, I have to say. I like how they do that once a year with the bowl game. It was Nebraska's first bowl win. Was it 8 years? I know it was their first appearance in 8 years.
Yeah, it was. And that rule, wait till the quarterback he's good. He's going to go places.
Yeah, and
maybe Jets will get out.
His brother, all-pro center for the Lions, I think he's
retired
retired now.
Oh, no way.
But Dominic Raiola, has been a center for years. I don't know if he's still active, but
He's trying to look like Mahone, though. Do you agree?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but no, it was a great victory. Too bad I didn't have the concessions up there anymore. I would have sold a lot of pretzels and hot dogs.
Yeah, probably. Oh, that's funny. So how was your Christmas? What's going on?
Good. Taylor's down now.
Oh, nice.
With the baby.
That's got to be fun.
So, I'm here with a bunch of old people waiting online to get tickets for the Woodstock concert. We have concerts here. So you bring your own drinks, bring your own appetite, and they give you
nice
$10.
I like how he says that he's online with the old people. He's one of the old people.
Well, that was the story. When I first got down here, I went to one of these concerts, and I walk in, and I said to Denise, I said, holy crap, there's a lot of old people here. She goes, you look at me before you left, for Pete's sakes? You're old. I said,
oh, that's got to be fun.
My body's old. Oh, yeah. Hey, don't forget 4th of July, and I want my sister to come up. Start prepping her.
You mean my mother? Yeah. I'll keep her. I have it on the calendar for me. I will let her know. 4th of July.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Couple Peronis.
Yeah, but that's Penn State tomorrow night.
Penn
They're
State
going all the way.
Penn State, Boise State. You think they're gonna blow them out?
Oh yeah.
Where are they
guaranteed?
playing?
They are playing
Arizona.
No, where are the I just was looking at this. I'm mad. Trying to think of which bowl it is.
Let's see what's going on there.
It is so they're playing in Arizona. You're right, Tony, at the Cardinals.
Oh my God, it is Arizona.
Yeah.
At the Cardinals
Fiesta
Stadium.
Bowl.
Yes,
Yes.
the Fiesta Bowl.
What is it? The Fiesta Bowl or
Yeah,
something?
Fiesta Bowl.
Yep, that is it.
They're Penn State laying 11.5. Would you put a couple shekels on that, or?
I would.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to blow them out like Philadelphia did Dallas, and they'll blow
Chargers
them out.
did the Patriots. The only thing that was giving me, I know it was earlier in the year, but actually the number one team in the land, Oregon, only beat them by 3. So that was the only thing that was giving me a little trepidation.
Yeah, but
I know Gentry's great, but yeah, I know it's just a different animal playing a team like Penn State versus the teams that you're used to playing in the Mountain West. So,
who the heck is Boise State? I mean, they're not even playing our divisions or nothing. Where do they get these teams from? They come with the big boys and they get slapped.
Yeah, and I think they're moving to the Pac-12 in a couple years, which should help them. But yeah, I mean the running back Genty, I mean he does have almost 2,500 yards on the ground, but it's just you would think it's just a whole different level of competition, and that it would be a struggle at some point.
And who do you think's going to find? I say Penn State, Ohio State.
Well, you're saying in the championship?
Yeah.
I think Oregon is going to beat Ohio State. I don't know. Just Ryan Day, big spot. It's hard. So I would actually say we're going to see, in Penn State. I'm going to say a surprise here. We haven't seen this in a while. Notre Dame versus Oregon in the championship game. I think they're better than Georgia.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about Notre Dame is that they got that little leprechaun with his boxing mitts on. What the heck is that all about?
In the stands you're talking about? It's the fight.
Why do they have a team? I know.
What would
they're
Regis
real
say?
Irish.
Regis is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah. They're real Irish. Yeah, sure. Why don't they have an Italian team? Do we have an Italian team over there?
Oh, Jesus, that is pretty funny. But you oh no, sorry, what were you gonna say?
We should have a Sfogliatelle bowl or a cannoli bowl.
Oh, that
what
sounds
we need.
great,
I
actually.
mean, if they're
yeah.
giving away cannolis, I mean,
Yeah,
why
dude.
not, huh?
Well, there you go. Maybe Cohen will host one at City Field, dude.
We should start an all Italian college somewhere and get cannolis at the, you know. Hey, Anthony, you remember when we went to that place and we had that comedian? I think it was for one of your birthdays, and the guy said to my father, he says, "You know why the Italians lost the war? You remember that one?"
No, I don't. What did he say?
My father says, "No, I don't remember, because they use ziti instead of shells."
Come on, Brian. That was pretty good. It must have been 7 years old. How would I remember that? Uncle Richie?
Hey,
I know you were.
Yeah.
Oh, my father got so mad.
It's since it's been a while we have you. I just have to ask, what's your thoughts on the Yankee offseason so far?
So far, so good. I don't like the Torres getting rid of him.
Wow.
You know,
Really? You strike me as someone who would have got annoyed, him kind of spacing out on second, the fielding errors.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you wanted him back.
Well, I thought Torres is good. I like the pitcher that came in,
Freed.
the reliever there.
Oh, and then Devin Williams. Yep.
And I like that option, but again, it's going to come down to hitting. They get rid of Soto, which I like Soto, and let the Mets have him for that kind of money. But we had the powerhouse last year. No one, our pitching stunk every time. What's his name came in? He reminded me of Chapman when he used to come in. I used to go to the bathroom all the time because I knew he was going to lose the game.
Yeah. So now he's the Mets problem.
Yeah.
Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then it was their pitching. They need relievers like Goose Gossage, Rivera. They need someone that can just take that ball, blow it by you, and then that's it.
No, and
then
I think their bullpen's going to be good this year because now Weaver could be the setup guy, Devin Williams would be the closer, and they have a couple other options. Loaizaga, Cruz.
Yeah.
It should be pretty deep.
I mean, Williams could be that guy to blow something by you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. The power change.
Yeah. And Cortez, he was good in the beginning, but then towards the end, Cortez, he got injured.
Yeah.
He was hurt.
Yeah. No, and that trade to get Williams, we really gave up nothing.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly.
Caleb
Yeah.
Durbin, I think will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm
Know
excited.
who we need back? The Yankees seem to ruin pitchers all the time. Jabba Chamberlain was probably one of the best fastballs straight out of from Nebraska, and they tried and put him down full time, and they ruined that guy.
No, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. For a while, Jabba Chamberlain was my favorite Yankee, especially when he came in.
Yeah.
I remember his ERA like it was yesterday. 2007 was part of the whole bug situation at Jacobs Field at the time. But his ERA was .039 partial season rookie year 2007. Look it up, Tony. Wow. I know you won't, but I'm just saying.
I'm not arguing.
No, he was unbelievable. Yeah, and then the shuffling back and forth ultimately ruined him. And another guy that I don't think we ruined him, it was just himself. And maybe sure you want to say we pitched him too many innings, but Dylan Betances was always one of my favorites as well.
Well, who was the big reliever that became an alcoholic there? What was his name?
Reliever?
Yeah. He was a drunk. He drank all the time.
Chapman?
Not Chapman. The other big guy like him.
You're not thinking of CeCe, are you?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Oh, CeCe
Yeah,
Sabathia.
CeCe.
Yeah, but he's rebounded in a big way. Lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah.
Healthy.
Sober.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As far as we know.
But remember the report though, stumbling out of the cab in Baltimore at the
Oh
time.
my gosh,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Wild.
So it'll
Yeah,
be interesting.
I got a trivia question for you.
Okay.
This guy used to come in my last restaurant. He's probably dead, but he's the first Black Cy Young Award winner.
Earl
I don't
Can
know.
Boyd?
Huh?
Earl Can Boyd? No?
No.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea either.
Who is it?
Now I think of his name. Look it up for a second.
Oh
But
my gosh,
used to
Uncle
come-
Richie.
I know. I forgot his name.
Let's see
He
what
used
we
to come in
got.
the restaurant all the time.
Don Newcomb.
No, John Newcomb. That's it.
Don Newcomb.
Donnie.
Yeah. I got a ball signed by Don Newcomb. I'm going to tell you a story, too. When he used to come in the restaurant, this guy, Welch, used to come in, and he was a big stockbroker on the stock exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to come in, and he came in to me. He says, "Is that Newcomb sitting there?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I got a bat at home, but he signed a bat for me because I'm a fan of the 50 Dodgers and stuff." I said, "Yeah, bring it in." He said, "I got a ball signed by all the Dodgers back in the 50s. I just want to verify his signature."
Wow.
Yeah, no problem. So now he brings the ball. He goes home, gets the ball, and this guy's got millions of dollars, a big broker. So I get the bat over. I ask Don Newcomb to sign the bat. He signs the bat. I says, "Hey, Don, here, this ball here. I just want to verify. He wants you to verify that's you and everything. And it's an old ball. He's got it in a case and everything." And he looks at it. He says, "How well do you know this guy?" I said, "He comes in the restaurant all the time." He says, "Well, that's a original ball from then." He says, "But don't tell him this, but all the bat boy used to sign all our names."
Oh, wow.
I said,
wow.
"I didn't say." Can you imagine that?
Wow.
That's horrible.
I know.
The Bat Boy,
I
huh?
hope. Yeah,
good?
they used to sign.
So did you keep quiet or did you tell him?
No, I kept quiet. He was a good customer. I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh, man, that's funny.
That's tough.
One thing I want to ask you before you go, Uncle Richie, if you had to give your prediction for the college and NFL championships, what are you saying here?
Well, the college I already gave you.
But you said Ohio State over Penn State or Penn State over Ohio State?
No. Penn State all the way.
Penn State. Okay.
Wow.
That's interesting. James Franklin getting that monkey off the back finally.
And I don't think anybody is going to beat Kansas City.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Tony doesn't want to hear it, but I certainly agree with you.
Yeah.
Come on.
No one's going to beat
Buffalo?
them.
Anyone for Buffalo this year?
If it was in Buffalo, if they had the number 1 seed, I would say yes, but I'm saying no at this point.
Yeah.
I had to say this was a nice surprise, Uncle Richie, with the call. Been a while, right?
Yeah, so we were just talking about you too.
Yeah.
I guess you were tuning in.
Did you
were
hear us
listening, or-
mention you? Is that how you called, or you didn't hear?
No, man. Your mother said, "Call Anthony. He's on radio now."
Yeah.
He heard, and
So
that's
funny.
how we are where we are.
Hey, you've been watching any Rangers games recently?
I hope not.
Oh, yeah. They're horrible. They're
Yeah.
pretty bad.
I can't believe it.
I mean,
really can't.
yeah, it's distasteful, and yeah, I mean, you can't even watch, really.
You really can't, dude.
Yeah. So
It's unbelievable. Every year, you think you got something, and then all of a sudden comes down to, you just shake my head. I got nothing to watch no more. The Jets I can't watch no more.
Oh.
Yankees aren't on. The Rangers stink.
I mean, I guess the
just
Knicks
sit-
are good, right?
Yeah.
No.
I don't watch basketball.
No, he's
Yeah.
going to concerts with the old people.
Yeah, I sit home. I watch the Yule log and I drink my Paisano wine. There's nothing
Hey,
to watch no more.
St. John's is having a nice year. Richard, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank God,
Yeah.
but whatever. But I'm in Florida now, living the good life. I'm standing in line when I'm talking to you with a bunch of blue hairs waiting for concert tickets.
Yeah. Jeez. Well, that sounds like fun. Yeah. Definitely
Oh,
enjoy
yeah, it's
that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thanks for calling in. And we'll
right,
definitely,
I'll be
definitely have to
listening
talk
in,
to you
guys.
soon.
All right, happy to hear, Uncle Richie.
Have a happy New Year.
You
And
too.
God bless.
You too.
You
God
too. You
bless.
too.
So the one, the only Tony, Uncle
Uncle
Richie. That
Richie,
was a
dude.
nice treat. That's for sure.
That was nice. Shout out to my mom for getting him on.
Yes.
Let's
yes. So yeah, we were just finishing up the Rams there. Like I said, they're clinched, so no need to play against Seattle next week. Strength and victory, all that stuff yesterday. The Jets almost get shut out in Buffalo yesterday, but they scored 2 meaningless fourth quarter touchdowns.
Oh, my God,
Rodgers
dude.
asking out. They go to Tyrod Taylor there, but they lose 40-14 to drop to 4-12. And the disaster, the nightmare season continues. For the Jets, and Rex, I think, was just on this morning saying he fully expects to talk with Woody Johnson about the head coaching vacancy.
Yeah, dude. Which I guess it seems like he will.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard too. It seems that Ron Rivera is getting an interview today. Yeah, which is kind of funny, dude.
Go hire Ron Rivera. That's a good idea.
I'm sure they were saying. Shout out to honestly Jake Assman, by the way, on ESPN. He's been killing it, filling in for Rick and Dave.
Yeah.
He was saying how he's sure it's just like almost like just start somewhere.
Well, and it's probably the Rooney Rule too.
What is that?
Like how you had to interview a minority candidate.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you hate when maybe they're actually considering it, because he's a veteran coach and stuff. But to me,
appearance,
it just seems like it's not the guy. I mean, we saw him, mired in mediocrity. I know I'm not saying it right, but in Washington, and then change coach first year,
and then it's great
playoffs, franchise quarterback.
Not good.
We don't need that.
So yeah, I don't know, dude. Rex seems interesting. We talk about Vrabel too in terms of the coach. I mean that
I don't know. I'm not that jacked on Vrabel. I don't know. Like I feel like he's okay, but I'm not I don't think he's like some amazing coach. At this
no, yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, we spoke about it though. I mean, I feel like you do need someone who's. I don't know. I don't think you can come into. I don't think you can hire like a first time head coach. I don't know.
No,
but I think you need someone with some experience, like we were talking about.
But and it's like So I think he's like okay, but then I think other teams are going to want him, and then he's ultimately not going to end up choosing the Jets. But I still feel like, just because we want a veteran coach, that doesn't mean go hire Marvin Lewis or Ron Rivera either, though. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I agree. And it honestly should be interesting because I feel like there's going to be quite a couple teams that could be in the market for a new head coach, but also it's just like, I don't know, a lot of those situations, I feel like who really, I know you say who wants to go to the Jets, but I think who wants to really go to a lot of these teams looking for coaches,
But there's some that are attractive. Like I think the Bears job is interesting for people because they feel like there is talent there. They just need a leader.
Tough division, dude.
Tough division, but I just think there is some level of hope there. The Saints is another interesting one. Some talent is still there. They're a team historically that has been competitive. The Raiders, high draft pick.
That's a tough. The Chiefs, Chargers.
Yeah,
Broncos are going to be good. Couple years,
but also it's one of those things, Terry, where we could project and say this, say that. Other than the Chiefs, it seems like that's always a certainty, but we don't really know. Stuff changes quickly.
No, yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like in terms of being someone who's out there looking for a head coaching job, I feel like that Jets role doesn't exactly look like the worst scenario. Where I feel like it helps the Jets, the fact that there are those other teams that are also in tough divisions. It's going to be tough scenarios trying to pull the team out of.
Woody just then.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure it's still bad. I mean, nothing's good. Nothing is going to be good, dude. I mean, I'm watching Taylor throw a great, back shoulder pass to Wilson in the end zone, and those are the points the Jets are scoring. Like, that's fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Rodgers couldn't score at all, dude. So
enough with Rodgers.
I really can't believe honestly that game, dude. Like he's got to. I think that for me, I watched that.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah, new culture, new identity. Get him the hell out of here.
Like get him out of there. Like, I was like, next year maybe, but like now it's
no way. Absolutely not. It's not gonna happen.
He's a fucking problem, dude.
Yeah, he's a chief.
Like he's a huge mental case, I think, dude.
Absolutely.
Not good.
Absolutely. So they'll finish up against the Dolphins in Week 18. Kev's Raiders win their fourth game of the season in Nolans. 25-10. Bowers setting the rookie receiving record and the tight end record yesterday. And every time I keep talking about this, we were talking about it in Discord yesterday. So painful. I know Fashanu has played well, the tackle out of Penn State, but the Jets really missed the mark on a Hall of Fame.
Yes, dude.
Worthy, so far anyway, tight end. What a season. What a bright spot in a season that's been miserable for the Raiders. Like I said, we're expecting Pierce to get canned, but that was the bright spot for them and the Saints with Rattler. I mean, they can just barely score any points. So no, big implications there. Two teams going to be looking for head coaches more than likely.
I can't tell you how many times Red Zone, Scott Hansen, Bowers beating Mike Ditka's record.
No,
dude.
but Bowers
Mike
is
Ditka's.
sick.
Mike Ditka's. No,
Bowers
is sick,
yeah. I can only
my
imagine
God, dude.
What was going on at the Rothenberg household as the New York Giants win their first home game of the season in their last home game. 45-33.
Code red.
Just the Colts defense yesterday, just horrible. Malik Neighbors, a career high 171, 2 scores.
Crazy.
And Tyrone Tracy, also had 59 in the ground, 14 in the air. Drew Lock 4 touchdowns,
Ridiculous.
309 yards passing. So the Giants looking like a completely different team yesterday, intercepting Joe Flacco twice and also sacking him twice, and they win this game by 12 despite Jonathan Taylor going from a $125, 2 touchdowns. You're looking right at him. Had the over, of course, 110 scrimmage yards for Taylor. So that one hit. So that was nice to get that. Good thing I didn't take the Colts. Seemed like this would be a no-brainer win.
Man.
But, you go with a backup quarterback in Flacco, a guy who's 39 years old. I guess this type of thing can happen.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Giants fans have to be besides themselves because they may end up getting, like, instead of the first pick, like the 5th or the 6th pick.
Yeah.
All these teams have 3 wins. They're playing the Eagles next week. Eagles are already locked into their seed. Saquon will go for the record, but they might just bench him. So they could win that game, and then they could be really further back when they have no chance to draft a quarterback. And it's like, I feel like they just need to draft a quarterback in the worst way. I know everyone wants to wait for Arch Manning, but it's like you got to just get someone there where you can build it. What is next year going to look like if you just have some stopgap in there again?
Yeah, it's going to be not good at all, dude. And I think, who the hell is the guy that ESPN? Jordan Renan?
Yes, he's always on DNR.
He was on this morning, dude. And I was listening to what he was talking about, and I mean,
it was
just
bullshit or no? Culture. These guys are playing hard. They're not tanking.
No. He was as dumbfounded, I think, as anyone else that they won are winning this game. And it's like, he's saying how, like, at this point they have like a 4% chance of getting the number 1 pick. It's probably looking at 4 or 5. And if they do end up beating the Eagles, which you said could happen, they would drop to like 7 or 8. And then it's like he's like saying then you're gonna have this coaching staff, this GM, this front office that are gonna be desperate to try and make something because their jobs are gonna be on the line here. They're gonna trade draft picks to get up in the draft to get a quarterback, and then they're gonna mortgage more of the future to get probably what also would be a quarterback coming in to a team that then otherwise was not really much improved, could fail. That regime ends up going out anyway, and you wasted even more time. So it really is kind of crazy. But then he's also saying on the other end, it's like, because like Jake Asman's like, well, why don't you just fucking like not win, like bench Neighbors, whatever it is.
But teams just don't do that unless there was actually an injury. I know that you could fabricate it, I guess. But then the player, especially Neighbors, you do that to him, you're telling me he wouldn't have like sounded the alarm on that?
Yeah, I guess so. I think if you said the Neighbors though, it's like, hey, we're gonna lose this game so we can get better quarterback next season. No, I want to have good
stats by rookie year. No, literally.
Come on, you really think so though?
I think because he's pissed the way this year's been.
But also, he was saying that like they just don't, they're not going to start like a 3rd string quarterback to be like, hey, you can go out there and lose like the locker room, whatever. So it's kind of like that very precarious situation because it is like you said, the Eagles have really no reason to play a hard game. Like they're not probably even going to start Pickett, right? And Pickett, so it's like, and then the whole Saquon thing, he's obviously been outspoken about. Like, we have bigger things here.
Yeah, he's not concerned about the record, especially because it would be somewhat tainted extra
game, dude. Yeah, that was kind of tough, honestly, to go to Saquon because I feel like, I mean, even though he did technically get it within the 16 games, like everyone is talking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, dude.
But, yeah, I mean, it just...
the Giants are fucked, dude. So are the Colts, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I think even though Richardson, of course, didn't play, they were Flacco, but I think Richardson has to go.
Richardson does have to go. Obviously, Flacco, I mean, obviously good for him being in the league. But it's almost like another team, too. I guess maybe you can compare it with the Cardinals. The Cardinals. I guess maybe not so much. But, I mean, the Colts do have good talent. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Pittman... even Josh Downs had some big games this
No,
this
I think they just need a quarterback.
Yeah, no, literally.
It'll be interesting to see what they do. And this draft is not good with quarterbacks. I've been looking at recent mock drafts, and we were talking about in the Discord yesterday too. They're projecting 2 to go in the first round. Last year we had 6.
Yeah.
So, and even within those 2, like Shador, like people are excited, but then we saw him lose that bowl game, and like I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's a sure thing. So if you're a team, scrambling for a quarterback, it's a tough spot to be in, and then you might end up trading for a guy like Kyler Murray,
dude.
Right? I mean, he's probably gonna have trade interest,
exactly.
Which I would be like, no, I'm not giving up. Like, especially because he's a big contract too, right?
If you're the Colts, would you do Richardson for Murray straight up?
But the thing is, you probably, I don't know I don't know how that would work because of the contract. If you could actually do, like, you'd probably have to work out the salary.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd have to give up much, but yeah, I mean, I'd rather have, but it's still like, Yeah, I mean, I still think it's like.
Well, I'm saying, do you think like for those quarterbacks, do you think Murray will be successful with the Colts? Do you think like the change of scenery for Richardson will also
No, I think
help?
Richardson's done,
Yeah.
and I think the Cardinals probably just want to unload Murray's contract.
Right.
To be honest.
But do you think Murray is done? Like, you think where he goes, Colts or not? Do you think wherever he goes, he'll be good?
I think he could make them be a 10-win team, but then I don't think they're gonna. He just doesn't seem like a playoff quarterback, like take over a game type of player.
Yeah,
you know?
he doesn't have like that. Not for nothing, he doesn't really seem like a competitive guy. I don't know.
Yeah, the Fortnite, obviously. But maybe, just as like for a couple of years, see how it goes, and who knows, maybe it'll be better than you think. And then the Amen report Carter actually says, how aggressive will the Raiders be at trying to trade up with the Patriots? Shane Steichen might be the surprise firing now, which is interesting. And he says, I think Irsay opens a checkbook for Sam Darnold, which actually would not be a bad idea, I think, anyway.
I mean, no, it's not a bad idea. How could you think that is a bad idea? I mean, Darnold is having, obviously a career season for him, but also just a great year in general,
Yeah,
so.
and then you give him a running back like Taylor, too, which is obviously big. Pittman, Pierce had a nice year. Oh, I'm in report. My mistake there. I read that quick. And you'll notice by listening to me occasionally the pronunciations, Tony, right?
Oh, yes, of course,
my
dude.
apologies there. But great to have you with us, though, I have to say.
Yeah, dude, for sure. And then I guess, did you answer this question? How aggressive will the Raiders be trading up with the Patriots?
That is interesting. I mean, the Raiders always strike me as a team that's always aggressive, and obviously draft order still be determined by the outcome of next week's games. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. But again, let's see what happens, next week, because the Patriots don't need a quarterback. They have Drake May, so it would probably only go to their advantage to move down a little bit and get some more draft picks, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude.
So we'll have to see.
Do you think though that the Vikings are gonna they're gonna want to keep Darnold? No.
It's I think it depends how the Sunday night goes, because that's gonna be the game against the Lions for the division, but also the playoffs. I think that's a big thing, but it's hard to not want to keep him the way he's produced this year.
Right.
So it seems like we're trending that way, but I think there's still work to be done. So what does he do on the road, big spot against Detroit, national TV? What does he do wild card weekend? Or divisional weekend if they get the bye, but I don't know if that'll happen.
And I know you're kind of like a big, trade him now for the value guy.
Yes.
It seems.
If you're gonna get multiple first, yes.
I mean, do you think though, if you don't win a Super Bowl with Darnold, you're trade him?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, it's worked. I'm just saying, it's just be careful. You have your guy in McCarthy. You hand selected. Rookie. This is, they always talk about teams taking advantage of the quarterbacks in the rookie contract. That's what you have now, but you'd be losing that by giving Darnold all this money.
Do you think any way Darnold does a 2-year deal?
No. No, he's going to be highly sought after because there's not a lot of quarterbacks coming out. So, I mean, it's fascinating. But I think if he plays well, these last couple games, then I think they will explore trading McCarthy and re-signing Darnold. So we'll have to see.
That's even crazier, honestly, to trade McCarthy.
Well, it just because you just feel like
I know it's
especially
a waste.
if he doesn't play. I mean, I guess you could keep him, but it does feel like a waste because it does seem like a waste. But
it's almost like you don't even want to be in that scenario. Honestly,
yeah.
dude.
But I think with quarterbacks, you can never have too many at the same time, and I think the Cowboys know that because it has not been good. Whether it's been Dak or Cooper Rush, they lose 41-7 in Philadelphia. Saquon, Mr. 2K, all
ridiculous,
of that. Devontae
dude.
Smith, nice game. Pickett injured. They go to the third string quarterback. Doesn't matter. Eagles locked in to that 2 seed there at 13-3. Well, I guess actually, I'm just trying to think about this for a second. Oh, okay. So they would I think they're locked in if the Lions win tonight, because then both teams would be 14-2, and then they have the tiebreaker. So, but yeah, so like we were saying, we expect them to bench the guys next week, but quite the season for the Eagles, the impact that Saquon has had. But it's interesting. Do you think that that's all it is, or do you think it's not even just Saquon on the field, but maybe in the locker room that has kind of mended some of these fences, with Smith and Brown and Hurts and Sirianni?
Yeah, I think it does seem like that, and I also wouldn't put it past I guess these guys, Brown and Hurts and Sirianni, to kind of, bury the hatchet themselves also. I think they recognize too what they kind of have, in terms of roster construction and a great opportunity to be a long-standing competitive team here. And they may be, like I said, bury the hatchet. I hope so. But yeah, definitely Barkley. I mean, even after, post-game conference, the guy, Barkley's such a humble guy. He's just a humble, well-spoken, very educated, level-headed individual, it seems. And again, it just seems like that guy is just a poster child for having a great locker room mentality and example on the field. Exactly, dude. An absolute, through thick and thin professional, dude. And also, but from his perspective, how do you not, dude? You're going from the Giants to the Eagles, who, in my opinion, probably have the best offensive line. I mean, not for nothing, you're talking Tanner McKee.
Yeah, first career touchdown pass.
3 for 4, having time, being able to have that, opportunity to feel comfortable in the pocket. I mean, that's all offensive line, dude. And again, to go back to Barkley, that is also a lot of offensive line. He's got tremendous blocking and protection. So, how are you not going to be excited and to have a good attitude if you're on this roster, dude?
Yeah. No, it's quite the transformation. The second half collapse and the loss to the Bucs in the playoffs last year. And speaking of the Bucs, the run continues. They get help from Washington last night. So a win
huge
against the Saints next week, and they will clinch for the third straight year.
Let's go,
NFC
baby.
South. They would be the
I'm
first
rooting for the run,
team
dude.
multiple times over a 3-year stretch to win the division 3 straight years after being multiple games under 500. Some ridiculous stat. I get it. But the point is, no matter, what's happened these last couple of years, they've rallied. And of course, the first year was with Tommy, but the last 2 have been with Baker. 5 touchdowns yesterday.
Ridiculous.
27-32, 359, 5 touchdowns. Again, Tony, the rare parlay out of me. I had Evans anytime touchdown, Baker over 250, Bucks win. Let's go. 25 to pay out 92.
That's awesome, dude.
So I channeled my inner Josh B on that one.
Yeah, dude.
And listen, we know the Panthers, 4-12, shambles, but this run out of Baker, it really is unbelievable. And there were a lot of memes yesterday making fun of the Browns when they got rid of Baker and brought in Deshaun Watson. We're looking for an adult in the room, and we see, how that's worked out.
Yeah.
Baker, 42-79, 39 touchdowns this year.
Unbelievable.
I know 15 picks is a lot.
But,
this team is dangerous, and I think it's a team, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, that nobody wants to play in the playoffs.
Yes, dude. And I think in terms of, I want to say Darnold has got to have 12, right? So, right?
12 picks?
Yeah, I think so.
We'll look it up. But.
I could be wrong. But I feel like, I feel like 15 for this season, isn't terrible. But obviously the production in terms of the touchdowns are ridiculous.
The yards.
The yards, second in the league in terms of yards here. He's an absolute animal, it seems, on the field. Obviously, no Panthers, whatever. But nonetheless, this is what great quarterbacks do. They're 27 of 32, 359. You mentioned the 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, which I think is huge for Baker at this point of the season as well. A couple times.
Darnold has 12, by the way.
Darnold has 12. So again, top tier caliber quarterback right here for Tampa Bay. And not for nothing, dude. I feel like every time I look up, it's fucking Mike Evans is open downfield. It really is kind of sick.
He had 2 touchdowns yesterday.
And then that opens up, Jalen McMillan, who gets 2 touchdowns as well. Because obviously you have to try and get a handle on Mike Evans. And of course, Bucky Irving, we're talking about him, 20 carries, over 100 yards. This team is really humming for sure. And with the Saints next week, you would anticipate the win. So let's fucking go, dude.
The only thing is the reward, if everything holds the way it is, will be hosting either the Lions or the Vikings wildcard weekend.
Which, again, you would anticipate to be a really tough test, either one of those teams. Lions would be a rematch of, right, last year?
No. Well, last year's playoff game and week 1. Where
in week 1.
The Bucks beat the Lions. So, but I feel like, though...
That's fucking wild.
I feel like I could just see you saying, they'll beat the Vikings, but they wouldn't beat the Lions, or no?
That's how I would probably initially feel. But, even so, I think it's honestly... a 50-50 chance between both of those teams. What the hell are you going to do, we just talked about how great Darnold is, and it's yes, Baker, Mike Evans, but then there's Darnold, Justin Jefferson. That's a crazy, kind of, 2 duos going at it. And obviously the Lions, I mean, there's really, everything's right on the wall with the Lions,
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, dude.
It will. It will. And you mentioned Evans, by the way. How impressive. 13 games this year. He had 65 catches, 915 yards, 11 touchdowns in 13 games, 2 yesterday. So he'll need 85 yards to extend that streak to, I believe it would be 10 years in terms of how many he's been in the league and how many that he's had. Or is it 11, actually? Because 2014, right?
Yeah,
It would be 11.
Yeah.
So how many, to have 1,000 yards every season of your career, to start your career for 11 years at wide receiver, I mean, that's pretty unbelievable.
Very unbelievable. Especially, I mean, I remember you talking about it when he was injured.
Like,
and we're like, he may
it.
not be, but he could maybe if he goes off.
You know they're
going to
force him the ball, too, against the Saints, who are in shambles anyway.
Exactly, dude. Their defense has been really, lackluster, obviously, and it's like, how you're not going to find. I can't see Mike Evans getting anything less than 115 yards.
Yeah. No, I certainly agree, and not to mention probably a couple of touchdowns as well.
Oh yeah,
but what a season for them, to be 4-6 and to win 5 out of 6 after that. And they are 1 win away from winning, like I said, the NFC South for the third consecutive year. A division that usually has different champs every year. That's been an impressive run. It seemed like there was a lot of toilet bowl games yesterday.
Oh yeah,
as we saw the Jags 20-13 over the Titans. Doug Peterson, maybe his last victory as Jags coach. We'll see what happens next week. But Brian Thomas, one of the rare bright spots on this Jags team, other than Lawrence, of course, who's out for the year, had 91 yards and a touchdown. Mac Jones, 174, 2 touchdowns, and ETN 49 on the ground. Nothing crazy. Mason Rudolph under 200 yards himself. But 2 teams that could potentially be looking for a head coach next year. I don't know if the Titans will go one and done with Callahan. But like I said, I just don't get the feeling that, it just seems like I know they lost Derrick Henry, but it seems like they've become a worse team under the first-year head coach. And that's why I'm questioning whether they're going to keep him. I mean, it's just been one of the worst teams in the whole league. I mean, they have 3 wins. I mean,
you're not wrong.
Sense of hope, it feels like, other than
or direction, even.
Pollard is good,
Tony Pollard, obviously, but I mean, still, it's not like I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I guess that Calvin Ridley's good, but regardless, I don't know. I would give him a little bit of a pass. I feel like that they don't have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback.
No, they don't. Yeah, Ridley is okay.
I don't know. I mean, I would give the head coach maybe another year to see, I guess, I mean, I would imagine they're going to try and draft a quarterback, right?
And this is interesting. So the Iman report says extending Darnold hurts you cap-wise when other players need to be re-signed, which I agree. So maybe a tag and trade.
Cool.
He says Callahan gets 1 year with Shador, and if things aren't any better, pull the plug. And I guess I'm almost pushing for it. I don't know. The way that the Titans, I think back to growing up and watching Steve McNair and Eddie George, I just feel like they just, under Henry too, it seems like they didn't capitalize on that. It just seems like, it's been quite the struggle for a while. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like the hire to start with, so that's kind of why I'm suggesting it as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I guess it also is, almost like the same thing we were feeling with the Chargers too. I mean, with the Titans, it's just they've never been even with Mariota, they fumbled that dude.
Yes, exactly. A guy who I think honestly, if he landed in a better place to start, I think would have been okay.
Yeah,
honestly, it almost reminds me of Darnold in a way.
Yeah, definitely, dude. So it is tough though, because I guess he went to Atlanta, and
then Washington, he's the backup now, and so it's just been a tough run for a guy who's one of the best college players of all time. But yeah, I mean, I could see them giving him the shot, especially to get the number 1 pick to get Shador, and Shador in Tennessee would be interesting. But it's just the reason why I'm hesitant because it doesn't look good. And then we were talking about this yesterday on Discord too. The whole thing when there's a question about the head coach, like the Giants this year, or like the Raiders would be, or the Jags, where it's like if you feel like they're kind of doomed and they're going to get fired, why waste another year before you bring in a new system? Why not be ahead of these things? That's why I'm always pro. Okay, let's make the change now. Because I think the Giants not doing anything to me anyway. It feels ridiculous, honestly. Because I know it's maybe Dable raw deal, didn't get to draft this guy, this and that. But despite all of that, I feel like it still should have looked better than it has, other than the playoff year 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean you can't. That didn't have his own guy. Ship I think sailed probably 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean not for nothing, you double down with the guy you didn't draft. So it's like,
Right.
You know,
and then, let's give him an extension.
Yeah.
That's on Shane.
That's what I mean, exactly. And it's like, you can't just keep pointing the finger, after all these years, and there's just no progress. And actually, there's been the opposite of progress. There's been a regress.
Exactly.
So it's like, what the hell? That's your fault, dude.
The Dolphins keep their faint playoff hopes alive in Cleveland 20-3. So maybe Stefanski, another guy who could be looking for a job. Another guy we were mentioning last week, would be nice for the Jets to get if he wanted the job, if he gets fired. But just a complete blowout. And Miami does this. I was surprised, because Cleveland, colder weather place. I guess the weather was okay yesterday in terms of the temperature. It did rain. But I didn't expect him to win this one so handily, but all the injuries on Cleveland as well. But Tyler Huntley does a nice job, the former Raven backup quarterback, 225 through the air, only 4 incompletions on 26 attempts, had a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown. And Tyreek Hill, 9 for 105, no touchdowns, but, one of his better games this season. So I feel like you were kind of speaking to this maybe last week or sometime recently that, despite this being a disappointing year for Miami, all the games sans Tua to be right at 500 is actually probably a pretty good coaching job.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. I think we were talking about that last week, especially because it was, 4 games early in the season. He comes back against Buffalo, I think, right? So it's exactly. So, and then I think that they lost by a field goal against the Bills. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, those are really tough. Those are 5 games that were losses. That I'm not gonna say they could have beat the Bills if Tua was healthy. I mean, maybe they would have a better chance, if he was kind of more in a groove. But those 4 losses they incurred without him. I mean, those certainly, like, imagine you win 2 of them and all of a sudden you're 10-6 right now.
Yeah,
like that's a totally different feel of the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that I don't know. It's tough with Tua, I suppose. I mean, because it's. I don't know, dude. I mean, obviously the talent is there, but it's like, how many times are you going to bet on this guy to stay healthy? And he doesn't.
Right, and it's a hip injury, and they haven't confirmed if, it's the one that he had to have an operation on after Alabama.
Like, is it not over? Like, doesn't it kind of feel like it's kind of over?
But it feels like they're gonna go with him.
They could try,
year, but you should have a good backup plan, and maybe just keep Tyler Huntley because he looked pretty good in this game. I know it's against the Browns who are in shambles. It's interesting. The Iman report though says. Stefanski will be back, but his fate may be tied to Cam Ward, a guy that they could draft potentially. Maybe Zappy hour in Cleveland week 18. I mean, why not, just for pure, revenue standpoint, ratings, people in the stadium, I mean, why not just have Jameis go one more, right?
Honestly,
he's probably
at that
not going to be back. You want the higher pick. He's going to throw a couple picks.
Yes.
Why not just do it? And then he also says, I hope Miami fires Chris Greer, the general manager, in the offseason, which, like we were talking about, given the circumstances, and most likely that they will beat the Jets, week 18 to go 9-8. I mean, doesn't seem like too bad. So you would think the whole organization gets a pass. So we had a lot of one-sided games yesterday, but the final 2, fortunately, were good. As we saw the Vikings hang on despite 15 unanswered in the fourth quarter for the Packers, 27-25. Clinching the scenario where they will need to win in Detroit Sunday night to get the number 1 seed. But the dream season for Darnold continues. The Packers, we were talking about this on Discord too, just could not cover the middle of the field whatsoever in this game. The checkdowns to the running backs, Jefferson running all over the place, Addison, definitely an embarrassing job on defense for the Packers, but Darnold, I mean, unbelievable. We were talking about this before, but to have 14 wins with Sam Darnold, a chance to have 15, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions this season. And I believe this was their 9th straight victory as well. Even as we're saying it, even as we've known it, for the second half of the season, like, wow, this is just keeps continuing. It's still unbelievable that we're talking about it at the same time.
Yeah, no, it really is, dude. I mean, I feel like we talk about it every week, and it's like, I feel like you flash back to the beginning of the season, and you're thinking like Vikings with Darnold this year, maybe they're around 500, limping into the playoffs or something like that. I don't think we would have even mid-season. And I think people were anticipating a drop off.
Collapse, literally.
I think the 2 losses they had were back-to-back weeks. Were they back-to-back weeks?
No, one of them was to the Lions.
Right. And I think they lost the week before that. Let's see.
They lost to the Rams.
Yeah. So it was
Lions
back-to-back
2 and then 10 to the Rams.
So those back-to-back losses, I think people were like, "Oh, this is it. They're 5-2 now. They're gonna go, whatever, Colts, who knows, doesn't matter." But they obviously proved everyone wrong here. Donald proved everyone wrong here by continuing to stay clean, not make any stupid decisions that we've seen him make in the past few years. Whether it be just a poor throw, not knowing when to get rid of the ball. So it's like, how is it a story you're not rooting for? And you couple that with a solid rushing game from Aaron Jones, and I mean you're speaking about covering the middle of the field. Justin Jefferson is that guy, who's really hard to cover. You need the safety to come over, help out, and then all of a sudden it's T.J. Hawkinson who's getting some other receptions because he's open. And obviously I think you like Jordan Addison, right?
Oh yeah. Second-year receiver out of USC.
Great guy. So yeah, I mean, how is that? I mean, the Donald storyline. Don't even put together this sweet roster with Minnesota, but just the Donald storyline. How do you not root for that?
Yeah. No, it is unbelievable, and it definitely creates a question for J.J. McCarthy and what the plan is next year.
Wild.
But obviously, a lot to be determined this year. We mentioned the last game of the regular season in Detroit against the Lions for that number 1 seed. That's going to be fascinating. And it's interesting for me, too. This game came down to 2 plays. The Packers, I think it was like a 4th and 3, 4th and 2, chip shot field goal. They don't kick it. Obviously, they end up losing by 2. But then also a Josh Jacobs fumble, I believe in the first half, was just terrible. Packers driving.
It was the first drive of the game, I think, right?
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. And those were the 2 things that stood out to me. Where things maybe go another way. And it's interesting. The Iman report here mentions that questions raised about LaFleur and Love going to 2025. I mean, I think pump the brakes on that a little bit. I understand Jordan Love didn't look great yesterday, and like I said, even though LaFleur is the offensive guy here, they have Jeff Haley who came over from BC running the defense. The coverage of the running backs out of the flat, I mean, just was horrendous. But I think that's something they will adjust to, and as well as the middle of the field. But I think it's just one of those things. No matter how this season ends, and the run they went on last year to almost beat the Niners, the organization I think is confident in those 2. But I think next year there will definitely be some expectations to kind of take that next step. And this year, winning a playoff game would be great. But now with this loss right now, they're the 7th seed. So they would technically go to Lincoln Financial Field, 2 weeks from yesterday for a wild card game, which will be a tough matchup, obviously.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I would pump the brakes on that too.
I mean, we'll take LaFleur and Love if
honestly, dude.
I mean,
right? I mean, Jordan Love is great. I mean, I really don't care. I love what LaFleur is doing with him, honestly, especially after post Rodgers. And I mean, not for nothing. I mean, you're playing one of the best teams in the league. Maybe a couple of decisions here and there, would have made this a victory for you. I mean, you played a phenomenal 4th quarter, shutting them out 15-0, and obviously kind of having what was last licks there. Your final 2 drives, each of them 9 plays, resulting in a touchdown. I mean, I think showcased what Jordan Love could do in a high pressure situation, which is great. Obviously, a couple decisions here and there. Maybe you don't fumble that first drive, you score. Or, again, kind of like whatever you were talking about. I feel like still even at the end of the first half, too, I feel like they had an opportunity to not give up a field goal.
Yes.
If they kind of managed the clock a little bit better. But regardless here, or they went that 3 and out, too, before. I mean, not for nothing, like you said, I think that is – I don't think they're going anywhere. Because you're 11-5. And ironically enough, I mean, you're in what is probably the toughest division in the league, arguably, I guess.
In NFL history,
honestly. And then those are your 5. I think you lost to the Eagles week 1, and then you lost to the Vikings and Lions twice this year.
And it was in Brazil, that game.
Remember? Oh, my God, it was, dude.
Yep.
So it's like, like not for nothing, like you have a great kind of a stepping stone, I think, this season. That's your next step is how to beat the Vikings and the Lions next season. However this year ends. But regardless, I mean, you got to love what the Packers are doing.
Yeah, no pun intended, I'm guessing, right?
That's right.
You seem like you thought about it for a second.
No, I did not think about it, dude.
Yeah, that's too corny even for you, Tony.
Come on, dude.
Come on, dude. Yeah, so that was a fun game to watch for sure. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we get that rematch wildcard weekend. Last game of the night, overtime, coming back from 10 down at the half.
Crazy.
The Commanders walk it off. Zach Ertz, second touchdown of the game, got all these incentives in his contract after the second one, but the magic of Jaden Daniels continues, rebounding from that terrible interception he had earlier in the game. Just another outstanding game. 127 on the ground, Tony, 227 through the air, 3 passing touchdowns. He was sacked 5 times, 1 pick, but the 1-year transformation, what him and Dan Quinn have done for this franchise, it absolutely is unbelievable.
It is kind of crazy, to be honest, because, I mean, not for nothing, dude, Atlanta played a good game. I like the way Michael Penix looks, to be honest. That first pick was kind of tough. I guess it was in the first half.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is an example, I think, of watching. If you didn't already know, Jaden Daniels is clearly your guy, dude. Because, again, not for nothing, you mentioned coming from behind. I mean, I think this is all Jaden Daniels. The 127 on the ground, you said the 27 through the air. Like, it's not. That's no joke, dude. Like, that second half, he took the game in his own hands, and he fucking willed and led that team to win. Obviously, Ertz, great touchdowns, and I think he had a couple big runs as well. And then that guy, Zacchaeus
had a great game, but if he didn't drop that pass near the end of regulation, which almost cost him the game. By the way, when that field goal was up in the air by Riley Patterson, I literally thought it was good.
Yeah.
We were about to go to bed, and I'm like, oh, it's short? Like, it was. I'm just so used to that going through the back of the net.
Dude. I don't know if you saw it, too. There was a video, I don't know who shared it, maybe Barstool, but there was some bar in Atlanta, Falcons fans thought it was all.
That was good. They're just, like, celebrating.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that's funny.
Which is wild, dude. But, again, I mean, that is wild game. It really was a wild game. But, again, I mean, Jaden Daniels, you got to tip your hat to him. Because he's the reason why I think the Commanders won last night, and that is like, talk about having your franchise quarterback. I mean, you got to feel pretty good about that, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. What a performance, and the fact too, McLaurin was really shut out in this game, 1 catch for 5 yards, but that he has that type of game last night, and he's throwing to Zacchaeus and Ertz and Jamison Crowder. Imagine you give him someone else, sustainable under, next to Terry McLaurin. I mean, this is going to be a very scary offense, and even maybe upgrade the running back position. I know Robinson looked okay, but you're using Rodriguez a lot. Guys that just weren't getting a lot of reps, and Eckler's out for the year. So impressive stuff there. And I think the thing, you're mentioning Penix. People were actually kind of making fun of Collinsworth. Like, I thought Penix looked pretty good, and especially compared to what they were getting with Cousins before. But I think he's still got to grow, and you would expect that this was only his second start in the NFL. But people were kind of making fun of Collinsworth, seeming like he was hyping him up too much.
Really?
Where it's well, are you missing? He's kind of missing some of these throws. 16 incompletions. But I think the potential is there, and I think it's very valuable, even though, most likely it's going to cost him the playoffs. Well, not really, though, because, Cousins was playing so bad. But, just this experience, the last 3 games, I think is big going into next year.
Huge.
And especially if they could, finish the year with a win next week, I think that'll be huge for his confidence.
Yeah, dude. Not for nothing. This was last week they beat the Giants. Was it last week? Who they beat last week? The Falcons. Michael Penix's first game was it? I think it's Giants, Commanders, Panthers to finish their season, right? I think. Or they beat the Panthers last week.
I think it was the Panthers.
And they finished it off. Wait, no.
Or was it the Giants?
It was the Giants,
okay.
And they finished the Panthers.
Yeah.
Not for nothing, dude. This was we spoke about. It was Giants, great team to start. Michael Penix, get him in the mode. Commanders come in. That's a huge challenge. And not for nothing, you scored 24 points. I know you used Bijan obviously a lot, and he had those 2 rushing touchdowns to start the game, I guess. But still, this guy Michael Penix is starting against one of the best teams in the league, like Washington Commanders. So it's I don't know. I think he held his own. But yeah, I think Collinsworth should take a back seat a little bit.
Yeah.
We were gaming while the game was on.
Mute.
So yeah, we were.
It's a smart call.
Yeah, come on.
What's your thoughts on if everything holds, Rams hosting the Commanders wildcard weekend?
Rams hosting the Commanders.
Yeah.
I think Rams go down. hard, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't been scoring a ton, but that's bold. Rookie playoff quarterback win. I mean, that would be something to really cap this season for Washington.
Yeah, it would. And I don't know, maybe that's going to be a theme. You know, there's a theme last season, too, with Jordan Love, so maybe it'll be something else this year. I just think that matchup does not bode well for the Rams. Like you said, they haven't been scoring a lot. And not for nothing, we've seen them, give up a lot of points some games as well. So I think Commanders, their offensive ability, again, especially if Daniels is like that dual threat, I mean, they're going to have a really tough time, not giving up 27 points.
A tough time.
Tough time. Do I? What do you think?
I mean, I'll go with the Rams, but I think it's going to be a classic game. And they got to score more. And I think, too, you trust in McVay, but I just thought, their game against Arizona, you could score more. I don't know. I just think, too, definitely commit to Williams. And I think maybe more passes down the field. It seems like a lot of stuff is behind the line of scrimmage or within the first 5 yards. I think, take advantage of the explosiveness of Kupp and Nakua. Father Time has come up to Stafford.
Father Time, Brian.
I don't know.
I will say, I really enjoy Stafford. I mean, obviously he's a great quarterback. But I will say, looking at him on the sideline yesterday,
With the
gray dude, it does look like.
Hey, listen, I have some gray. Has Father Time gone up to me? No. Come on. Can't always go by that. That's all I'm saying.
What is Stafford, 36?
I think even older, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, it's crazy for, again, maybe this is just me, but I feel like I think about his career and I would think he's much younger than that.
36.
36,
will turn 37 in February.
But I don't know. I think Stafford's gonna be that guy who doesn't really. He's not gonna be. I don't think retiring anytime soon, dude.
You don't think?
No, I don't think so. He's got he is someone who is a tremendous competitor. It seems.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then having a coach like Sean McVay
jacks him up, dude. Yeah. And if I feel like if you keep Cooper Kupp, obviously, I'm not sure how old is Cooper Kupp. I don't know, but obviously
I think he's 30.
30. But Nakua in his sophomore year, you surround him with youthful energy. I think he would strive. Stafford.
Yeah. I was just checking a couple of things here in terms of the original contract was a 6-year deal, or no 4-year. Okay, so let's see. So he's technically under contract the next 2 seasons. With a $49 million and a $53 million cap hit. And I guess there's a roster bonus due, but I don't see why they would move off of him, especially if they're able to win a playoff game. You would think they want to give this a little more time. So, we'll have to see about that. What are your thoughts on, no matter what the scenario is, what we laid out in terms of winning next week for the number 1 seed? But this Lions-49ers matchup, obviously the Niners eliminated one of their worst seasons under head coach Kyle Shanahan. What are your thoughts about this game? Because obviously the Lions don't need this. You're saying, maybe they'll rest guys. But then again, who do they have to rest? Everyone's injured.
Yeah.
But, they're laying 3.5 here. I mean, what do you think about this game? Me personally, actually, no, I'll let you go first. Go ahead.
Dude, it's so tough down to the wire here. But if I had to guess... I think it's Lions' foot on the throat here.
Campbell doesn't stand out.
Yeah, literally not standing down for anything, and it's going to be Lions, and they're covering. I think it's just
31 years old for Kupp, by the way.
Wow, really?
Came in late, 25 years old, Eastern Washington.
The
red turf as well. Always comes back to the turf.
Oh my God, the turf, dude. But yeah, that's what I would say.
No one's
Lions,
resting. It's not them,
absolutely not.
Them not needing this game actually is irrelevant to the outcome.
It is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And the Niners, I'm sorry, like you said it. I mean, worst season.
Yeah,
Shanahan. Not good.
By the way, 2 more years for Kupp, $29 and $27 million cap hits.
Okay. I got no problem
but
with
they
that.
could get out of the contract. But again, why would they get out of the contract? Maybe they move some stuff around. But you think you want at least, I would say, just write out Stafford's contract. He's got the 2 years, so keep that. Really 4 guys together. McVay, Kupp, Nakua, Stafford, and then you got Kyron Williams too. So I think they could definitely still have potentially another run in them. That's for sure. And just thinking about the future here, obviously the Niners won't be in the postseason. And they have this streak. I think it goes back 12 years where they've either at the minimum, so they've either missed the playoffs or at the minimum made it to the NFC Championship game. Kind of one of the odder streaks that I've ever seen.
Oh, that is kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But
You put any stock in that or
no, I think it's just a
inconsistent,
random outcome. I think it's more just like if they're in the playoffs, it's
Right.
because they're one of the best teams in the league, and that's why they found themselves in the NFC Championship game. But I was just going to ask you, Purdy's due for the new contract, but I mean, you think other than that, I mean, it's like, there'll be some retooling, but do you expect them to kind of stick with the same core here and just hope for better health next season?
I guess so.
And would you give Purdy, I mean, they're talking like almost $300 million contract.
Oh, God, that sucks. I don't know if I would be comfortable paying him that much money, to be honest, dude.
Really?
I mean, I mean, I don't know. That's tough, dude. I mean, I understand the injuries, and I guess just never. I don't know, dude. But you would think still, though, with this roster, like injuries or not. First of all, you talk about injury. Look at the fucking team you're playing tonight. Like, look at the Lions, dude. Like they've had more injuries than you. And I understand maybe not necessarily like obviously McCaffrey and Debo are two huge parts of your offense.
I question Debo though. I feel like he's been hurt. Production's been down. I don't know if his best days aren't behind him.
I think they might be, dude. I feel like with a guy of his caliber of play, but with his body type and the way he plays, he's like he's always running downhill, falling forward, like doesn't go down easily. I mean, that catches up to you like season after season. And he is a bigger dude, who can move as well as, as like a receiver that weighs 185 pounds, So like those, that impact on your joints and whatnot is worse. So I don't know, maybe. But then again, it's like, even if he has the ability still, I mean, he is someone who gets injured. So like, how good is that? But I guess at the end of the day, if you're the Niners, it's going to be hard to argue, I guess, that you can't just run it back next year, I guess, right? I mean, I know I said I wouldn't feel comfortable paying Brock Purdy that much.
They don't have to, by the way, because he has one more year of his rookie contract. It's customary to get a new contract when you're left franchise quarterback, but they can let him play it out. Plus, they could tag him the following year if they don't come to terms, which probably is a better.
Best
he
bet.
won't like it.
Yeah,
probably the best way to go.
But not for nothing, dude. Like, he is not your franchise quarterback. Like, do you think he is?
I mean, I just think he is good, but he's not great, and he will be looking to be paid as if he's great.
Yeah, which is not right. I mean, again, not for nothing, dude. Like, I mean, look at some of the great quarterbacks around the league. It's like when they have receivers that go down, they figure out ways to survive. Baker Mayfield had his top two receivers go down, and he figured out a way to win games.
Right.
I mean, Mahomes had a huge, wide receiving core, I guess, conversation in terms of who's the guy. Years ago, they were Tyreek Hill. He figures out ways to make other guys a superstar. Josh Allen, you lose Diggs over the offseason. Big controversy there. And he figures out ways to find someone else to hit. Great quarterbacks will make those plays. And not for nothing, Brock Purdy really didn't do that this season. You talk about injuries all you want. I don't really feel like he really commanded a game ever. I mean, you look at some of their wins. The first couple, obviously that's the hate. A lot of injuries. They beat the Jets, woohoo. Beat the Patriots, woohoo. Seahawks, Cowboys. They beat the Sorry, what am I? Yeah. They beat the Bucks. But still, it's just like, I don't know. The teams you beat weren't even good. Mm-hmm. If you want to be paid like a franchise quarterback, who's really good, you got to perform, and he didn't really perform that.
So maybe it's motivation too. I would say
it should be
no contract extension.
Yeah.
I know the value could go up, but be like, listen, we're going to bring everybody back next year, and maybe even if they don't bring back Debo, I think there still is enough at receiver because obviously McCaffrey is a big receiver. He'll be back. Obviously he's a running back, but what he does out of the backfield, and then Ricky Pearsall, who actually, quite the comeback after getting shot in the offseason and miraculously surviving that. has played a nice role on this team. So you have him back. You have Kittle. Juwan Jennings was one of their best receivers all year. Ayuk coming off the ACL. So there's plenty of guys to throw to anyway. So just be like, okay, let's see. Let's bank on us having better luck next year. And, let's see how you perform. Because 17 touchdowns, 14 games. I mean, I know the yardage is up there and he had injuries, but still, it's like, so we're going to give this guy. I just question, I'm guessing the Darnold contract would be less. I mean, he was on this team last year, and I think faced off against Wentz in a meaningless game. But it's like I just question that you could probably get somebody else and probably not have to pay him
exactly,
$60 million.
And not for nothing. I think also people downplay the rest of the roster of the Niners. Like they did find. I guess at least somewhat for a little bit capture lightning in a bottle with their running backs after McCaffrey, right?
And then Mason looked great, but he's injured.
Mm-hmm. It is tough.
Garendo or whatever is injured. So.
But still, I would still expect more from Purdy, dude.
A couple of Niners comments here from Hyman,
dude.
John Heyman. Niners need to beef up the trenches. 40 to 50 million for Purdy.
That's
Kyle's
crazy.
in the hot seat 2025. He was going to come back. I mean, I just think with Shanahan, I think the only way he would be on the hot seat if you have another 5 or 6 win season, but provided they're back to where we expect, which would be the NFC Championship game, I think he's going to be there for a while. So it'll be interesting to see, what happens with them. But this is actually kind of a crazy day here for the final time this regular season, Tony. Let's do a Monday Night Football frenzy.
Let's go, people. It is kind of crazy for the final time, dude. So let's get going here. It's Monday. Why not, dude? December 30th here. And you said it, Brian, okay? Huge game here, 8:15 to cap off Week 17, dude. The Niners here, Santa Clara, California, taking on the Lions, taking on the 49ers here. The Detroit here, minus 3.5, dude, which, again, I guess you can speculate in terms of how much gas the Lions will be giving it tonight, but the total nonetheless is set at 50.5. We know about the deal. The Niners maybe try to end it on a good note. What do you got, dude? Lay it down.
Good notes, this and that. I have to say, this was any other team, any other coach, any other organization, I would take the Niners here because, like we said, win or lose, Lions, Vikings for the number 1 seed Sunday night. But this is Dan Campbell. He's obviously a complete psycho, one of the top motivators in the National Football League. And it doesn't matter that there's injuries left and right, and a guy like Craig Reynolds is going to be getting a lot of carries with David Montgomery out. Someone to spell Gibbs here. But I just think they stick to what they know best, the play action, running through the trenches, getting St. Brown and Williams the ball in space, maybe a little more Laporta. But I think this is a game that they dominate start to finish. An injury-riddled 49ers team. I know the Lions have a lot of injuries, but they still have a lot of key cogs. And I think that carries them to victory here. I don't think this one is close, as the Lions will defeat the 49ers. I'm going to say 35 to 17.
Wow.
So we're going to go the Lions and the over. And just like that, that is your Monday Night Football frenzy.
Just like that, dude.
What would your number be?
The over, interesting, dude.
50, right?
50 and a half, dude. I was going to go under. I was thinking like a 28 to 14, if that,
okay.
Dude. 2010.
Yeah, the Lions haven't played the best defense at times, but yeah, I don't know. Does it Niners? It's a weird vibe. It
is very weird.
Very unfamiliar for them to just be playing these meaningless games. Like they're seen as one of the top organizations in the league, and they're not usually in the spot.
Yeah, dude, they have 9 losses, dude.
Somehow it does. Always 9. It does always come back to that.
I don't know where that 9 came from, to be honest. Dude.
There was but it's interesting. Like it's not even me searching for it. It just the number 9 just seems to come up a lot. I don't know what it is.
Weird.
Anyhow, Tony. So obviously week 18, couple scenarios we'll go over later in the week, but let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes! McDavid shoots! Top shelf! He scores! Captain with the overtime winner! That's the middle break! So Bunting, made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! David Pasternak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right, Tony. So, unfortunately, over the weekend, I guess Saturday, the Rangers once again completely embarrassed 6-2 in Tampa. Part of this Florida swing here. We'll get the Panthers tonight. But I think the craziest stat to me is that since we saw them at the Garden, they've only won twice since then. It seems like that was months and months ago.
Oh, December 6th.
Yeah, but it seems like it was 24 days,
right.
2 wins in 24 days. I mean, I know there's been some off time, but that is just unacceptable.
You said, dude, unacceptable is right. And I mean, you want to talk about this game against Tampa Bay here. The 6-2 loss. You want to look up and down that bench. I mean, it's just completely dejected players is really what it is, dude. And there's, I don't know, there doesn't really seem to be a clear pathway out of whatever slump the Rangers are in now. They're, last in their division at this point. Seems like that they're going to be on the outside looking in come the end of the season because it doesn't seem like anything is really going right. Igor being pulled after seeing just only 13 shots, dude. The lack of defense in front of him. Again, there's the dejection of seeing Igor on the bench, seeing the looks on everyone's faces here. It's not good. A Tampa Bay team too, who not for nothing, they're I think they've won 7 out of the last 10 games, maybe 8 out of their last 11. They're a team that's really finding themselves, having top goal scorers. This is kind of, again, they're at the point of their season where they're kind of understanding, I guess, just what is possibly in sight for them down the road, and they're ramping it up. Something you would expect the Rangers to be doing at this point of the season. Probably, again, anticipating them, maybe winning a second President's Trophy. Instead, they're losing these games, and there's really, like I said, it seems like they're in some type of bottomless pit, Brian, with no way out. And at this point, I mean, it's just like everyone's job is really on the line, like everyone.
And I don't know how they still have their jobs. By the way, on a lighter note, happy birthday, Igor. Also, you and Michael's favorite basketball player, and Matthew of all time, LeBron, also turning 40 today.
Oh, good for him.
Just happened to see that on Twitter. I'm surprised the Igor birthday. Did you see that one or
no? No, I'm not on top of the birthdays.
No, I know it's almost like it's not even funny because what just sucks? Like, it's just like I feel like tonight it should be like, oh, this is sick. Like, we could watch the Ranger game. We got Monday Night Football, and it's like, watch the Ranger game. What are we watching? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like that. It's got to this point, though. This point. Like, I'm not gonna say that I would have been surprised going into the year if they struggled, but like this, Tony, this is like about probably as bad as you've seen it, especially with a team coming off a playoff season with most of the guys back.
I would say this is probably the worst I've seen the Rangers.
But with that stipulation, because I'm sure there were some years, early 2000s, maybe where they were just bad from the jump, weren't expecting to be good. But that's different.
Yeah. I mean, I think early 2000s, they had like their longest, I think 3 seasons in a row of not making the playoffs. That was the longest in the history of the team. So, I mean, no, for sure. But I'm just, that's a little bit different because I was younger, I guess, maybe. Because right now, especially, I mean, it sucks. I see so many highlights of like last season on Twitter. It just sucks so much.
But how about just that we're in the midst? This should be a great time in the year. And it's like, it can't enjoy it. And I'm not going to say that, I won't watch other hockey games, but I just feel like, when your team's bad, I don't know. It's not like the desire to do so maybe isn't as great.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, dude. Yeah. Especially, we can talk about the matchup a little bit, but you're going against the Florida Panthers.
I mean, it seems like it's going to be 6-1. I mean, honestly, right?
Yeah, it seems like the Panthers could be due for a game like that.
2 shutouts in a row. What's going on with them, though? That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, I think one was a Spencer Knight start, and then one was yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe. Against Tampa Bay. Again, Tampa Bay kind of finding their own, getting, hitting games right now in stride. And that game, I was watching some of it because it was gritty, dude. It was like there was a couple. I think someone got ejected. I think off of Tampa Bay, and it was just like again the Lightning recognizing that the Panthers are going to be a tough team to physically, and they again beat them to the punch, literally and figuratively. So again, I mean, you look at those games, and I mean it's very odd because again. Obviously, I was watching a lot of hockey because after Christmas, I'm thirsty for hockey, dude. That little break is tough. But those 2 games with the Panthers, I mean, you break them down. I mean, they were dominating almost every statistic. Face-offs, puck possession, shots on goal, hits, and stuff like that. But I don't know. Maybe it was Montembeault was on top of it for the Canadiens, and then Vasilevsky's on top of it for the Lightning. They were just not able to find the back of the net. And you could say like, all right, that's probably good. Maybe Igor will be fierce. He'll want to make a statement here, but it's just like, how do you not, kind of like you were saying, like you look at those 2 games of the Panthers not getting a goal, and how do you not think that they're going to be the ones with the ferocity, and it's like a 6-2 game?
But literally, Tony, licking their chops.
They must be, because the Rangers. I mean, not for nothing. Tampa Bay, they play good defense. The Rangers, as of late, have been playing no defense at all. So, like you said, Panthers licking their chops. So, I don't know, dude, especially with all the rumors of Tkachuk going to the Rangers. I'm sure his brother Matthew maybe make an example. I don't know.
But has there been more? Or you're talking about from before?
No, just
nothing
before.
recent.
No,
Molly
nothing.
Walker.
No, dude.
Vince.
Vince Mercogliano. Paternity leave, I think, right?
He's expecting? No, I know, Tony. I'm kidding. Like, obviously, it's his wife. But
Come on, dude.
I guess you're just not the Rangers. You're not in the mood for it.
Honestly, probably the best time to take the paternity leave.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, super tough, man. It's that game against Tampa Bay. Like I said, I watched it during the day. I listened to it on the radio driving back here, and of course, the highlights were on at the Horseshoe Saturday night. Have a couple beers in you, watch the highlight. Sad.
But sad or any outrage, like any aggression?
Oh, no, yeah, you're fucking tight, I guess. Well, maybe
Yeah.
at that point, late in the night, you're just like, this sucks. Yeah, dude, it is surprising how there hasn't really been any moves here. I understand there's Christmas
I've been
break.
saying this, dude.
But it's just like, I don't know, man. For me, there was still hope. You kind of limped into this Christmas break. Like, you're like, all right, like maybe this could be it. A little Christmas break. You had 1 win under your belt before. Was it against Dallas? I don't even remember, dude. Doesn't matter. Seems so long ago, dude. And then you come out of break. Even Keandre Miller, dude, pregame. This is the turning point. We're all rested up. We're feeling good. And you just fucking eat shit against the Lightning. You eat a whole bag of shit, dude. And you're just like, oh. So at this point, yeah, like for me, it's just like the Drury, Laviolette. Like if there's not, again, like emergency press conference, this is what we're going to be doing. And then there's a trade tomorrow. There should have been a trade already today. Like that's what should have been in the move.
Today or 2 weeks ago?
No, I'm saying like after the loss to the Bay.
Yeah.
It should have been, this is it. Like Monday morning, like we have this lined up and people are being benched, released, traded, further notice, sent down, brought up.
Apologize to the fans. Like, do we still exist? Or
Honestly, dude,
are we important?
Like, we need some type of answer. And also, like, I think Laviolette needs to have some type of answer as well. Like, he's either got to be like, this is the plan, or it's a hey, like you're out sort of deal. Because, I mean, by God, dude, by God, it certainly needs. Something needs to happen, dude. Like a change needs to happen. So,
and do you have any? I mean, I know it's just so overwhelming to even think about, but just any like ideas, like specific ideas.
Honestly, dude, I think at this point, and I know, I guess maybe Drury's already done this because he says we're open to trades, and I don't know if he's just playing hard to get or if people aren't interested. But I mean, not for. I find it hard to believe that people, other teams, that is. Aren't interested in regards of contracts and negotiations and giving up pieces or whatnot. But not for there is value to these players. Like there should be teams that are interested in, like Mika Zibanejad. There are people like teams that should be interested in if you want to get rid of a Keandre Miller even or whoever. Like it's not like there's no interest. So I don't know. It's kind of weird in terms of who do I have in mind. I'm telling you, like literally anybody. I know we've gone down the free agency list before, and we've plucked out some names, and a lot of people haven't been good. If you have to try and pick someone off of Toronto, a Johnny Tavares or something to make a trade like that, I feel like that's the position you're in. Like I don't care if it's an older guy. I don't care like where he stands. If it's gonna have to be like again, you trade one of your stars straight up for another team's star. Like it may have to be something like that.
No, and I feel like no in between, no Alex Wenberg.
No,
like I feel like either get somebody big or just literally just kind of reload.
That's what I mean. Like it feels like you do need that big player, not even to help, to start, just to start winning games.
Yeah,
you know, because they haven't been able to do that, dude. Like I know it's kind of crazy because you talk about the McDavid all the time. But I mean, again, like that's what it feels like. We don't have any superstars anymore. Like that's what it feels like. Like this team is just losing games. Like again, dejected players on the bench. You would think that the veteran players are. Still Will Cooley remains to be probably the most effective and amped up player I've seen playing these games. You know, which is great, dude. More power to him. I love it. But I need more. I need more ferocity, dude. I need some like I need people like cracking skulls or something. Again, like I don't know, dude. You need something more from your veterans, dude. I know the goal and the assist, whatever. Or Panarin had a goal. It doesn't fucking matter though when you're not playing good defense and you're still giving up goals and nothing else feels good. Like that's not gonna work, dude. It's not gonna work at all. And it's like again, to go back to that game specifically, it's just the same thing. You scored one in the first. It's a one goal game, and the second period you give up 3. It's a constant, dude. It's like every game you watch in these losses. If they play good in the first period, they come out in the second period and they eat shit. Like they cannot keep up. Like with other teams' adjustments and schemes. And maybe that comes down to coaching. Maybe it comes down to just overall player knowledge and talent. But again, you look at that, and I would lean towards coaching. So again, to the fact that Laviolette's still around and why it hasn't really been talked about, I guess maybe for the Rangers shopping a new coach is kind of crazy. Maybe that's what they want to do last minute or last resort. But I mean, are we not getting to like last resort status here? I guess you could argue, there's still, I don't know, half of a season left or whatever. But boy, I mean, like, it feels like that this is the witching hour. Like, the bell is ringing, dude.
And I'm interested what Jonathan Carpenter has to say about this. He says, hello, welcome aboard. I don't remember seeing that name before, Tony, right?
John Carpenter?
Yeah.
Can't say I have, dude, but welcome to the show, dude.
Yeah.
Let us know your fandom in the comments, what teams you follow.
Maybe some Ranger ideas. But it is interesting, I have to say. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, given the state of affairs, Tony. But, when I was mentioning this stuff a couple of weeks ago, I feel like you kind of had a different attitude, probably expected far better results, right, over the past few games.
Again, I mean,
that's changed things for you.
Yeah, like I said, like coming out of Christmas break, I really thought that there would be a different team, a different mentality. Maybe, again, still making that big move. We spoke about Jonathan Marchessault, last week as well as a potential, player to be grabbing at.
He's in Indiana, so now Hoosiers or Notre Dame? Let's hear it. What's your guess? I'm going to say since he said Indiana.
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have said go Irish.
Yeah.
Uncle Richie riled.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Indiana, dude. How'd you hear about us, dude? That's Indiana, dude. I've never been to Indiana. I don't know about you.
I've been to Notre Dame.
Oh, that's right. You did. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, it was cool.
I'd love to go to Notre Dame.
But yeah, so basically you're saying if it was you though right now, you would just fire Drury and Laviolette right now, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Because he's like, what are we holding on to at this point?
Wow, he's just Irish for sure. By the way.
Okay, there we go.
Let's
see a score prediction for Saturday's matchup against Georgia. Not Saturday, Wednesday. Forgot.
Yeah. What day is it? Yep. Who knows?
But big game for the Irish here.
But yeah, if I'm Dolan, which RIP by the way to Mr. Dolan.
Saw that. Yep, 98, I think.
98.
And then also RIP to Jimmy Carter.
Yes, Jimmy Carter.
100.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, if I am Dolan right now, I would be sitting down with jury, and it would again. I'm sure Dolan doesn't really do this anyway, but I would be like, hey man, if you don't have a fucking plan, like this is like you
just get out of my face.
Like literally, it's Monday morning. Like if I don't have like something by the end of the day on my desk, like don't bother coming in tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's gotten to that point, unfortunately. So you hope for a song, a prayer, some type of dance, anything to keep it interesting. But unfortunately,
I'm still watching. Let's go Rangers, all right, dude.
Not anticipating it. 3 games on the slate tonight. So let's do a Monday Frozen Frenzy.
Oh wow, dude! Ice cold. It will be feeling, I'm sure. Around the National Hockey League for Rangers fans. Let's get to this beautiful Monday slate. 3 games here, and we'll start off in Sunrise, Florida. Maybe Uncle Richard will be in attendance being down in Florida if he's not. We're still waiting online for tickets for the Woodstock concert he's going to with the
Why
old
not?
people. It doesn't really matter. Who knows here? The Rangers with some value, plus 165 coming in to Amarant Bank Arena. We said it. The Panthers, in the past 2 games, they have netted 0 goals, dude, and given up 8. Back-to-back 4-0 shutout losses for the Panthers. Could be the best time forever for any team to be playing the Panthers, maybe possibly the Rangers, losing 4 of their last 5 on the 3-game losing streak, only scoring 3 goals in those 3 games. Obviously, the Christmas break in between here. Wow, it is crazy. Their last win was against Dallas, December 20th. Nonetheless, the total is set at 5.5, which Brian has said earlier the Panthers could even score on their own. Sam Reinhart leading the team in a lot of offensive stats, including goals, assists, and points. But by no means is he the only talent on the Panthers roster. How do you foresee the Rangers doing on the road here?
Yeah, I think this is 6-0 Panthers. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And maybe finally, some alarm bells go off. Okay, we really got to just completely change course here. The coach, the general manager, the veteran players who are not trying, that's what needs to happen. So I think, unfortunately, as much as we would like to see them win, I think them continuing to play so poorly will force action, and that's what we need to happen. Hate to say it, but give me the Panthers and the over.
Dude, I'm going to take the Rangers tonight, dude. All right, that's it. All right, I don't even care. Kill me, sue me, doesn't matter. I'm taking the Rangers here. I think this could be possibly the best chance for the Rangers to beat the Panthers here. Obviously, the scoring drought they are on, I say, continues here tonight. And I think this is going to be a tough, nitty-gritty win here for the Rangers. And they have to come out here and punch them in the face immediately. I think it's Trocheck physical, Kreider physical. I think you're going to see a lot of D-men get into fights. And I think maybe if you see Trocheck into a fight, I guess maybe Miller gets physical. Will Borgen got quite a few minutes there against Tampa Bay. He does great on defense. And they obviously give him a lot of goals. Igor, tight, loud, there between the pipes for the Rangers. I say you have some goal scorers here for the Rangers. I think Will Cooley nets one. Give me Trocheck with a gritty one. Kreider and Panarin, who's, despite what everyone's saying, still having a solid year. And I think the Rangers are going to win this game. I say 4-3 in regulation. Mad fights, blood, anger, helmets thrown. Panthers are tight, but the Rangers are going to win. It's Rangers and the over for the dub there. Let's go. Everyone's job is safe so far, but they're still making that trade soon, end of the week. Watch out. Next game, 7:30, Winnipeg. The Jets take on the Predators here. In Winnipeg. Nashville coming in even on the money line. Over under is 5.5. The Predators beat the Jets 4-1 when they were going through their schneid mid to late November. Jets since then have been killing it. They've won 4 of the last 5, shut out Minnesota, put 5 up on Toronto. The Predators middling 11, 18, and 7. We know they did take care of business against the Rangers early on in December, but tonight against the Jets, how do they do, Brian?
This is one of those things, the line is so sketchy. Are you kidding me that Winnipeg is only minus 120 at home?
Yep.
But I don't know. I just want to tell Vegas to sit down. I think this is the time that they're wrong. The Predators suck. It's to just trade their veteran players. Trotz, I don't care about the 3-11-4 away from Nashville. Obviously, that's a bad record. And I think it gets even worse. And I think the Jets, 13-3-1 at home, continue their play. I think it's a shutout, another shutout. Allen, and I think it's 5-0 Winnipeg. So the Jets and just on the under.
I totally agree there. I mean, it's chalk here.
It's supposed to be a trap, though, right? Isn't that line supposed to be 180?
It should be at least 220. It should be 220, dude.
Yeah.
Give me Winnipeg here, the value minus 120. Josh B. I'm telling you right now, dude. Take probably Hellebuck, honestly, under on the save because there wouldn't be a ton of shots on by the Predators. Winnipeg to win. Give me the over and give me Kyle Connor, anytime goal scorer, dude. What a parlay that would be. Jets and the over. Take that one. Last game here, Utah. 8 p.m. We'll be visiting the Seattle Kraken. Utah minus 135 here. On the money line, dude. Over-under is 6.5. Kraken, middling team, lost 4 out of the last 5. Utah lost 3 out of the last 5, but against tough teams. Dallas, Colorado. Kraken just kind of, again, 16, 19, and 2. Kind of suck. Utah, are you anticipating the win here for Utah, Mike? I almost said Michael. Brian.
Yeah, Vizmelka is back. The Renaissance, Tony. And Utah, I mean, I feel like they have been, holding their own here. Better record than Seattle. I think a close under game, but I think we see Utah edge them out. I'm going to say 3-2. So give me Utah and the under.
Yeah, I'll agree with the Utah, dude. I know you like Vegmelka, that's great. But Clayton Keller has been killing it this year. 36 points in the season so far. Killing it for Utah. Would even be the point leader on the Kraken as well. Give me Keller. Been a little wild, Josh B. The hat trick. So I sprinkle a little money on that one. Put that one there. Utah wins 4-1 for that one. Utah and the under, Brian.
And just like that, that is your frozen frenzy, Tony. So yeah, I mean, maybe the Rangers will surprise us, but I wouldn't bet Josh B's bottom dollar on it. I'll tell you that much. Okay?
That's why I didn't tell him to bet on it, dude.
Yeah, well, you thought about it. You were kind of saying it for a second because I mean, I know the value's there, but what value is if you're not winning,
losing, dude.
Exactly.
No, you're totally right, dude. There's no value there for that.
So really, other than that, just wanted to touch on your favorite topic. One bowl game today, 2:30.
Yikes.
The Music City Bowl there. Is it Music City Music City Bowl?
Detroit?
Let me actually get this right. No, it's in Tennessee.
Cleveland. Oh, Tennessee.
And it's between Iowa and Missouri, and it's the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl coming from Nissan Stadium. Missouri -2, total is 40.5. Iowa without not only their starting quarterback, but their star running back who had 1537 on the ground, 21 touchdowns. That's Caleb Johnson not playing in this one. So it's a shame they'll be without him. So that leads me, I think, just preparing for the draft and this doesn't mean anything. I think it's weak, but we get it.
It doesn't mean anything, so you know.
Right, but I think Iowa, I've seen this story before, always struggle to score, and then you're going to take away their starting quarterback and running back. They could get shut out here. So I like the under, and I like Missouri. I'm going to say give me them 20. A shutout for Allen, honestly, 20-0.
Wow,
so,
dude.
Missouri and the under on that one. And then tomorrow, not only will we have that 7:30 game on ESPN between Boise State and Penn State from State Farm Stadium, but we also have 4 other bowl games: Alabama, Michigan, Louisville, Washington, South Carolina, Illinois, Baylor, LSU. before we get the rest of the playoff games, 3 of them on New Year's Day. So a lot of good college football upon us. I know Tony is elated, but I'm telling you, you would have liked the Pinstripe Bowl on Saturday. It was a fun time.
Yeah, I'm sure if I was there, yeah,
Like
definitely. The setup.
Do you think because it's college football, would it matter for you if, like, let's just say hypothetically, like you're saying the Cohen Bowl, like, do you think you would be more into it if it was at Citi Field? Honestly.
I mean, yeah, obviously, I like Citi Field, yeah.
I'm saying over, so that would make you like somewhat like, oh, like we got tickets? Like, sure, yeah, that'll be fun. Let's get hammered.
I mean, listen, if you gave me tickets to even
that game.
Yeah, even that game, I'd be happy to go. It's sports. It's yeah, exactly. It's an event to go to.
You'd almost rather go at Yankee Stadium because it's easier to get to Arthur after, or no?
Well, if that's the plan, I guess. But I mean, there's also other places you can go.
I feel like Citi Field, though, come on. Like, not close proximity. There's not.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think I would really go anywhere in Flushing.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, yeah, I mean, if they were hosting a Citi Field, I would definitely like to go. I mean, regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I wonder if like that's, I don't know
Even
how
on
this
his
stuff
radar?
works. No, what I'm saying is it like when a stadium is built, like does it have to, like, you know what I mean? Does there have to be stuff like in, I don't know, just like in their field system that allows them, or they could just make alterations to have a football
to put a
game
football
there?
field?
Yeah. I would guess that you could do alteration. Fenway does it, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
You can. Took out North Carolina. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, at Fenway?
9 wins this year for the UConn Huskies.
Wow, good for them, dude.
Pretty, I think, first bowl win in 14 years, too.
Was Dan Orlovsky in attendance?
I don't know. But, yeah. No, so, I mean, you like to see that stuff for sure.
No, you do.
And Josh B saying, Hattie, boom,
batty.
Knicks are on a run. Does that, if they continue to, like, ascend up the standings, do you think you'll, or is it just like come playoff time?
I mean, I don't know, man.
Intrigued for the playoffs though? If
they're
like top seed.
No, absolutely. Always intrigued for the playoffs a little bit.
Yeah.
But I have been pretty removed from the NBA, honestly, dude. Even with I thought having the fantasy team would help out. It's honestly made it worse.
Why would you say that? Tight results.
Tight, and it feels like a chore. You know,
fantasy.
just like every day. Especially with like how many
the monogamy of the NBA.
The monogamy of the NBA, dude, especially with like how many fucking people sit.
The sitting.
Like, oh my God, dude.
Monogamy of the NBA.
And it's like, and then, you know, it's just like you have to constantly be on it. And then I'm doing research for these free agents, and I'm just like, is it really fucking worth it, dude? And I don't know, dude.
I was saying this to Josh yesterday. Fantasy baseball by far the best.
Yeah, no, it is great. It is great. Fantasy baseball is great.
The way you said it, though, I feel like you're saying you like football better.
Hockey. Hockey's up there
what
for me,
about
dude.
Football or baseball?
Probably baseball, yeah.
All right. Hockey, interesting. Because talk about research, like that would be tough.
Yeah, but you have to literally kill somebody from the sit out. You're like, no, like I can set my line.
Sit out.
I can set my line for the week, and I can know I'll probably be good.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
then the upper body, that part gets a little.
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
gonna be out for
Yeah.
a game? Is it 10 games? Is it the season?
That's a little annoying. But again, more often than not, if it's not long term, it's like a 1-game thing, or it's a they play anyway, you know? And I don't know, maybe just for me, I was always more dialed into free agent. You know, I know more rosters. I know more players around the NHL, so it's easy for me to pick up free agents that I know could be solid, whatever, dude. Because again, I would think that basketball would be good for that because, you know, I do like how hockey and baseball is every day.
Right.
Different types of columns of stats to kind of look at to try and get, you know, points and whatnot to win the week. So you can win in different ways, which is really cool. But again, I think just the basketball just doesn't do it for me, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I would definitely say it's my least favorite fantasy, but at the same time, I like having always having a fantasy team going.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in hockey, but it would be it would be difficult. There'd be an adjustment period, but I definitely would be down because I have never even drafted a team ever. TCA, yeah.
I don't know if they do a hockey.
I'm sure Josh would have mentioned it, but I'm sure it's something that, you know, can come to fruition. There's enough hockey guys out there.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Definitely, dude. If they can get a basketball one together, they can certainly do a hockey one.
By the way, I was mentioning the Knicks just on the closeout here. 22-10, 7 straight wins, 12.5-point favorites in Washington, who's 5-24. So you would imagine that is a victory that they will coast to So we get 23-10, 8 in a row.
That's pretty sick, dude. Good for them, man.
Yeah, and I've said it with Towns. I really think this trade has energized him. He seems like a different player. More physical. I mean, the numbers have always been strong, but this year in particular, 24.5 points per game, 13.5 rebounds, 54% from the field, and he's also about a block a game, just under a steal a game, 83% from the line, and proficient from three-point range, which is a shot when he came into the league he didn't have, 44% on 5 attempts. I mean, almost 45%, 44.7. Pretty impressive. So.
Yeah, I'd say really impressive. And I mean, I guess like Michael was alluding to it earlier in the season too, like this team, and probably even you too, just the fact that this team needs to just play games together and then they can get, obviously more acclimated as my camera dies and then go on a nice run. And then there you go. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Were they on a 7-game win streak, I think you said, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems that this roster's coming together.
Yeah.
And I think Jalen Brunson just broke some record that Melo set as a Knick.
Probably like 25-point games or something.
Something like that, I think maybe.
But whatever it is, I mean, like I said, it's not like we're going to be keyed in, but I think playoffs I will find some intrigue.
Like right now, with the Knicks, is the needle moving anything at all?
No, but that's just because of the way the NBA is. No, I'm saying, but I want to see them win. I have to say, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I want to see them win just because it's been a while, and it's New York, the Garden. I have to say, like the Garden, man, like it's just like I just love the whole game day setup. Like, it's like, for this time of year, I really can't. It's like one of the best things you could do, honestly.
Yeah. No, I totally agree,
dude.
The
food, the bars right there, the atmosphere inside of the Garden. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I'd go tonight.
Yeah.
You say the Knicks are in Washington?
Yeah.
Oh.
DC, Amtrak.
Not going. No.
Rangers. Wouldn't have won anyway. Like right now, you really can't go until like they make trades because they just like.
I know,
we got so lucky that Pittsburgh game, honestly, because that was like
we really
very
did, dude.
Rare occurrence.
That was a great game.
It was a great game.
That was such a great time, dude.
No, really, no, honestly, that was just so insane.
Yeah,
honestly.
We did get lucky with that one, dude.
So hopefully something happens.
That
by the way,
so good at the Garden.
Oh, it
too.
did.
Like, what
it's
a great
like,
win,
maybe.
dude.
No, I swear to God, I was thinking. I thought like, in the Truba, right? Like, thought we were onto something, but clearly we weren't. Josh B said he's definitely down for fantasy hockey, so let's go. Tommy will do it. Me, you, Tommy, Josh. It's already 4 people.
Bang.
So we'll get. Kev Do will do it, even though he might,
I don't
not know what he's doing, but he'll do it. So yeah, we'll get that together. Plenty of time, Tony.
Plenty of time. Maybe Matthew Gabriel maybe will do it.
I don't know. I think he was a little deterred from fantasy football.
Yeah, I think so, dude.
But that being said, I think that's where we're at right now. But great to be back with a vengeance.
Yes,
obviously
dude.
A Ranger win tonight would make things nice for tomorrow's show, but we'll have to figure that out. But that being said, thank you to everybody for tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtimetv.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games.
Let's go Rangers!
Let's go Rangers!
Yeah!
And we'll see you.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.